One sec. Well, anyways, there's no evidence that he was at a New Year's Eve party. Although, I would like to know. Has anyone asked him? Seems like a pretty obvious question to ask. Like, were you out at a party when this theft happened? Since it happened right on New Year's Eve, is that not an obvious question to ask? Then he didn't tweet about it until the next day.
I mean, he might have not have known about it though.
Right. I don't check my Bitcoin every day.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, I have like 7 watch only fucking wallets now that I keep watching at all times. I haven't had I
have my shit open now, but usually I don't watch it every day.
I don't watch it at all. Like my deep cold storage, I have full confidence. I had no reasons. Maybe when I first did it, I used to keep an eye on it, but after a while, it's fucking. I mean, if you roll your own dice, and you're not spending, you have really and it fits behind a lot of fucking work. The chances of you losing those coins are nothing, almost nothing, if nothing.
Yeah. Well, anyways, here's my main thing. Okay, and remember, this is coming from a crazy cartoon. Apple just talking shit, being retarded, and speaking in complete hypotheticals. I'm starting to see spooks all over this fucking BIP 110 shit. Justin, fucking biggest spook I ever saw, bro. That motherfucker looks like a spook. He talks like a spook. You see that video he put out? You commented on it, Mr. Hoddle. Fucking spook, bro. That was the biggest spook video I ever saw. You see that?
Who are you talking about? I missed it.
Justin.
Oh, dude. Dude. I mean, I fucking smelled spook on him the moment he showed his face. You can see it all.
Spook, spookity spook. All right. Let's go down the line. Ready for this next one? Mechanic. Grass-fed, F-E-D, Bitcoin. Spookity spook. Where was this motherfucker during the block size war? In the background, lurking. Didn't fucking participate, just lurking and learning about Bitcoin, right? He was on the right side, sure. Right, I was always a small blocker. Okay. Were you doing anything about it? No, you were lurking.
Yeah, but he was in Bitcoin maybe 2 years.
When did your star rise? When did your star start rising, Mechanic? After Luke got stolen from. Spookity spook.
That's when they started Ocean together too, right after that.
Spookity Jack. Bro, my God, dude. Are you kidding me?
It's really hard. I mean, dude, before Bitcoin, it's pretty easy to infiltrate certain groups.
Also, completely hypothetical. This is just, we're just having fun up here. So, don't get offended if you're a mechanic and you're lurking. We know you're not actually a spook mechanic.
That was my fault. No one's heard of Mechanic until I had him on my daily news show, starting at 2001 to 2021 or something.
Okay.
Mechanic's been around. So? He's been around for a while.
Yeah, no, I've been watching him too. His YouTube, I'm following him. He speaks well, a little too well. Has the accent, which kind of throws you off. You know what I'm saying?
He's really good at talking, yeah.
Yeah, he's really good at talking with a British accent, which, you would never expect. You would never expect this motherfucker. He looks like he could never have been because he just came right off the street. You know what I'm saying? Perfect cover. Spookity spook.
Dude, but I'm saying though, it's really hard to infiltrate.
Ну, надо и масло, и блюдечко, ножик, все это.
I don't care who the fuck you are. If you go against
my
values,
super agent. I'm just kidding.
It happens that spooks go against my values in Bitcoin. They're gonna have a hard time penetrating this quote unquote community. When people, I mean, maybe it won't always be like this. I'm just like, eventually the Mr. Hoddles and the Shinobis were going to be gone, right? And it might be easier to infiltrate later on. But right now, I think it's really fucking hard to infiltrate, because whenever someone tries to change Bitcoin, I automatically think they're a spook, especially it's for a reason that I don't like. If you try to change a Bitcoin for a reason that I don't like, my spook meter just goes off. Like, it just goes off. I don't know why. I just get these spidey senses. I'm like, oh shit. The first one, I mean, Gavin and Dreesen, 100%. My spidey senses went off right away with him, right? Like, he was fucking spook rooting all over him. But Mike Hearn, also another one. There was many of them. And
Matthew Cratter?
Garzik, yeah, Cratter, fucking. This has been going on for a while. It's like that fucking the Grim Reaper walking across the doors. What we're gonna put in next. But now they're trying with fucking evil soft forks. Before it was all about hard forks. Now it's with like evil soft forks.
Dude, they learned from the block size war.
No, yeah, I agree. And I said it. I was like, the next attack's not going to be with hard forks. Like, airdrops are not the attack. The attack is with soft forks. That's what you got to watch out for. And he was fucking just bamboozling the entire fucking time. He was making up
Hey,
stories.
Mr. Hoddle. Mr. Hoddle,
2017.
I got a question for you.
But
If you were looking in the background during the block size war and you saw Luke come in with the or not the UASF, but you saw how Luke participated and and made SegWit happen and knew how he could do soft fork stuff, right? And then you're always looking for an opportunity to infiltrate a core dev, are you not?
the UASF was not Luke's
It was
thing,
not
though.
Luke. No, I know. My
Yeah,
bad. I
UASF
misspoke. I was just talking about
came
the
on way
SegWit.
later.
By
SegWit
the
was
way,
not his thing either.
no,
He just
no,
figured out how to do it soft fork.
shut the fuck up. That's what I mean. The whole angle here is that the soft fork angle is what ended up working. And in the moment, they didn't know that, right? They were pushing for the hard fork. That was the spook thing to do because they thought that they could take over the network with a larger block. But what they didn't really understand is that if you don't take along the rest of the network, you cause a split and just make a shitcoin. But they learned their lesson.
It's a good theory, but I'm going to have to disagree with you. Garzik was talking about this shit in 2010, talking about how
In theory,
hard forks are voluntary and soft forks aren't. How
Sure.
And then what I came to, and I also at that point, like when I was first reading this shit, I was like, "Fuck, man, like this is so bad. How can we have soft forks? Because then the minority or the majority could just take someone for a ride with them." But then what I came to understand is that it's just like, it's not what's good or what's bad. It's what's possible and what's not. And the only way we can upgrade Bitcoin without people losing money, without them losing Bitcoin, is through soft forks. Like you can't orchestrate Flag Day and have fucking everyone upgrade at the same time. It doesn't work. So it's just like what is available for the network to scale and to become more private and fix bugs. It's just the only way to do it is with soft forks. But if there was a bug that, ended Bitcoin and only a hard fork could fix it, I'm confident that we will come to consensus to really, really quickly. And if you don't come to consensus really, really quickly, you could just create your own shit and hopefully people follow your side of the chain.
Sure.
But I don't think that's going to be a problem when there's a non-arbitrary upgrade where you have to do it. Time work bug, right? Like something like that.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll just remind everybody, complete hypotheticals, no implications, no hard evidence. But just the fact that how much they've been trying to push for a change, and then before that, how much they were trying to push against Core, who, if you look at what they have been contributing, right? Like, go ask your clinker. Be like, ever since Core 27, given all the commits, what does it look like their primary objective was? Leave it open-ended. See what your clanker comes up with. I guarantee you that one of those primary objectives was to facilitate and enhance and enable second layers, especially Lightning, and then later on Arc, right? There was like specific updates from 28, 29, 30, 31 that made these things much more efficient and even possible, because Arc wasn't even impossible before some of these policy updates. So what do you have to do if you are intelligence agencies who've come to the conclusion that Bitcoin is going to replace the monetary system eventually, just because the incentives align, right? The underlying M1 monetary system will be replaced by Bitcoin. And now what are you doing? Well, you can still keep your system alive and adopt Bitcoin eventually. But how do you keep your system alive if most of the Bitcoin is unaccounted for? If most of the people who are using Bitcoin are using it privately and untraceable? You can't. People become sovereign individuals and then they can just fucking move. And what are you going to do? You're going to say, you owe me taxes on this and that because I saw you bought it on an exchange? And you would say, yeah, sure. Pay you a little bit of taxes here and there. Bye. And then what? Gone. No more traceability. You don't know where their Bitcoin's at anymore. They move to this new place.
Huge
The
problem.
new place
Huge
doesn't know
problem.
either. Sovereign individuals will rule the world if they don't do something about it. You understand? And the only way they can is if they can trace everything on chain. They got to keep that shit on chain. They got to shut down the second layers and make them captured, right? Lightning up until this point, honestly, probably captured. You got these big ass LFPs, right? Services that everyone's going through. If you're watching just a few of these things, you could probably start to, figure out some of the routing stuff. But the bigger it grows, the more decentralized that network becomes, the harder it gets. And if somebody even has a private Lightning channel, impossible, right? If I open a channel with you, Mr. Hoddle, nobody knows. Nobody
Nobody.
knows how much Bitcoin me and you are sending back and forth. Nobody
Nobody.
knows how much Bitcoin I'm sending to you for you to route to your sushi guy when I buy some
Mm-hmm.
sushi. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's true peer-to-peer technology built on an offline, untraceable fucking network.
Mm-hmm.
They fucking hate that idea. you,
Yeah.
you feeling this shit, bro? I'm telling you, dude, this is
Dude,
it, bro.
I kept saying this, man. If we
This is it.
talked about
They want to
Lightning as a
shut
privacy
this
tool,
shit down.
if we talked Lightning as a privacy tool, it would have never been de-risked. We would
Yep.
have dealt with it like coin
But guess
joins.
what? It's becoming too late now for that too.
Oh yeah. Now it's de-risked.
It's too
Yeah. At
late,
this point,
bitch.
it's late. Yeah.
It's too late. We already made the updates to make this shit more efficient. We'll make more to make it even better. And now they're scrambling. What are we going to do now? Lightning's out there. It's getting better. It's getting more decentralized. There's people running LSPs. We don't even know who they are in different jurisdictions. What the fuck? Oh my God, what is this? ARC? What the fuck is this shit? Yo, someone come in here and tell me what ARC is.
Yeah, they have a problem.
What is
I mean,
ARC, dude?
in
Oh my God, what's
at
this?
first,
ZK rollups. Oh my God, dude, what the
you,
fuck? They're
you have to
losing.
understand
They are losing control, bro. They're losing
when
control. How do you make
when
a ZK rollup
wait, shut
attestation?
the fuck up for a second.
Let me just finish. How do you make a
Hold on.
ZK rollup attestation? Answer that
Oh,
question.
you don't.
You
You
do.
don't.
You do.
How?
In a big fucking opportune.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 4 mega.
Boom. No,
If
one mega.
1 mega. Okay, not that
No,
big.
but you don't even need that
Um,
much. I mean, honestly, it'd probably be much smaller. But it'd be more than the current limit. I'm telling you, dude,
understand it.
they want to shut this shit down. And they're
Yeah.
losing
Well,
control.
again. Well, hold on. So they were at first they were scared because they thought Bitcoin was anonymous, right? It was completely anonymous. Then they're like, "Oh shit, this shit is not anonymous at all. This is it's completely open."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, this is great.
Let this through the doors. Like, this is good. And now they're like, these motherfuckers.
Figured it
These
out.
motherfuckers. Fuck. Yeah. So like, and now, I mean, literally,
In
dude,
some
I've had
sly
it from
roundabout way.
2013.
from 2012 to like 2014, I was posting the fucking Trojan horse gif, like for everything. Like people are like, Bitcoin needs to become more private today. I'm like, Trojan horse. Here, it's Trojan. No,
Yeah.
keep quiet.
Shut up.
Trojan horse.
Shut up.
This when people are like, Bitcoin is anonymous. I'm like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
The darknet market, it's used to add the darknet market. I'm like, yeah, they're all going to go to jail.
Yep.
It's completely open. No
Yep.
one knows how UTXOs work. And dude, that got us by, man.
Yep.
Like, I know it's kind of like a lot of people got like the narrative of it being anonymous in the beginning fucked a lot of people over. Because a lot of people thought that Bitcoin
had to happen.
But it has to happen. There's no other way around. If Bitcoin came out with just all of these like privacy technologies on top, it would have had a much harder time penetrating the market. But because it was so open,
they let it in.
They let it in. They fucking let it in, man.
And then what happened? We started coming up with these ideas. Oh, how are we going to make Bitcoin more private now that it's become, mainstream, right? We'll have federated side chains that have confidential transactions, which, by the way, I don't know if I trust that shit. But even if you do, okay. And we'll have Lightning, and that's going to have, better privacy, peer-to-peer channels. And then what happened? Yo, they fought that shit tooth and nail and failed. And then to them, if I had to put myself in their shoes, they're thinking, okay, like Lightning's happening now, but obviously it's centralizing and there's only like 3 big LSPs. So let's get our tentacles in those people, and then we can start to make a graph of all the routes. But then they started losing control of that. And honestly, the fact that so many of these LSPs shut down once things started getting dicey with privacy stuff, I don't think is a coincidence. Why do you think Waldo Satoshi shut their shit down, bro? I think they started getting pressure. It wasn't because they were doing it preemptively. It's because they were already in trouble. These motherfuckers were trying to surveil that layer, and they lost control of that too.
Well,
it's going to be a constant.
The best part is that they went after Monero. Fucking so like,
Bitcoin and Zcash most likely, to be honest.
Nah, they didn't go after Zcash because
most of these did.
Well, no, they went at no.
You think that private key signing happened? Hold
on. I'm not talking about the private key being having a backdoor when they did the ceremony. What I'm saying is that exchanges, I think only Kraken allows shielded transactions deposits. So if it's not private by default, and all they could say is like no exchanges are allowed to have shielded transactions. So it's not a problem. Zcash isn't a problem. Monero was a problem because
they didn't say that though, because Kraken based in America.
I mean, they didn't say that, but I guess all the other exchanges are. I guess I don't know.
Not in bed with the feds.
Don't want that noise. They don't want those calls and those emails because they're gonna have a hard time tracing Monero. So
maybe why is Kraken so based in that regard? Do you think
Jesse? That's basically.
You think Jesse's a good actor?
I think Jesse's one of us. I'm not saying he's a good actor or a bad actor, but I think he is a Bitcoiner. He's got a fucking. He had a lot of Bitcoin. He's got every incentive for Bitcoin's value to continue to go up on a personal level.
Is he a good spook like Mr. Hoddle?
Yeah, he's a good spook. Wow, dude, come on. I'm not a good spook. I'm a bad spook.
Fucking double agent.
Mr. Hoddle, I heard you sound Jewish.
No.
So you're
Israeli, not Jewish.
Israeli. That's what it is. Yeah. There's a difference there.
Big difference.
Dude, Wicked, I'm like not...
You're on the list too. What are you talking about?
I know I'm on the list, dude. I just found out I'm Jewish. Thought it was Lutheran.
I have a question. If you don't have brown eyes, are you automatically not Jewish?
Yeah. Well, I have blue eyes, so...
Oh, shit. How are you on the list then, bro?
I don't know. They got me, I got the call, dude. Damn. I got the call. I got added to the group chat. I sold out.
You're in the Jewish Bitcoiners back channel?
Yeah. Dude, okay, so the BIP 110 stuff, I don't have a technical lens, and I think there's merit to your fears that they're attacking privacy, and I think that's something we need, you need to keep looking into and talking about. But that being said, like I've always just seen it also as just like a psyop. If it is a
Whoa.
Fed run psyop, it's just a psyop to
It's
cause
sloppy.
chaos,
Yeah,
divide the community, you know,
Exactly.
make us retarded, distract us, slow us down from working on things that need to be working on, like
100%.
quantum or whatever it is. You
Nah,
know,
fuck
like
that. Not that thing.
okay, well maybe not that, but whatever.
Privacy
Privacy.
layer.
Okay, well we're on the privacy kick
We
now, and that's a
fucking
fair
need
point.
privacy, bro. That's what we need. We need to get our shit out of the system and untraceable forever. And you know, they can
Yeah.
come after us for, oh, you bought this for this much at this time. And we can say, yeah, sure we did. And they say, can you tell us where it is? And you say, well, I mean, it's on this, like it's in this place where I'm holding it, but there's no, it's off chain. There's no records. Like, I'll pay taxes. Here you go. And then, like, what are they going to do? What are they going to do?
Do you think 110 ever had a chance at succeeding?
I think it was
No,
a
it
waste of
wasn't
time.
meant.
I
It
think
wasn't
this
meant
is
to
literally a
succeed.
waste of time to have to.
Yeah.
But what was good was that
That's why I see it as a psyop.
but the
Because
big
why
brains,
work so hard at this if it wasn't going to work? If it is a you know, if
yeah,
it's Fed
but the big
driven.
brains didn't fall for the psyop. That's what we're here for. We're the buffer. We're the
It
buffer
was the
between.
social layer.
Yeah, we're the buffer between the big brains and the attackers. So while the big brains are working on Bitcoin, keep chugging away, we're
We're
here
distracting
being the
these
buffer. Yeah,
fuckers.
we're the buffer.
Yeah.
But I'll
And then
tell
the
you
other
what,
thing
though,
is
they did drive out Gloria, and
They
they
won
did
that
take
battle.
like a
They
bunch
won
of
that
merch's
battle.
time. They took a bunch of merch's time because he had to go up on a bunch of like podcasts and do a media tour. So like they did definitely take time away from, you know, actively contributing developers who probably had way better things to do.
Hey, I want to comment real quick because when you asked the question, did NOTs ever have did BIP 110 ever have a chance of succeeding? The answer to that is definitely no, but NOTs had a chance of succeeding, right? If they didn't pull the BIP 110 2 years ahead of its time, right? So if NOTs had continued doing what it's doing, they obviously would have needed 60% of the network running NOTs versus core,
To do what?
and they would have needed more
The
than one developer.
the clock was
It,
ticking though.
that's a good point. How was the
well,
clock ticking?
no, but again, well, the clock on them going crazy over op return was ticking, right? But if you
Nah,
look at the long
but you have to look
picture,
at the
Dude,
okay. What's the whole picture? What is it?
there's no
well, no,
picture.
if you look at the
Tone.
if you look at the long time scale,
Knots is literally based off of Bitcoin Core. There is no knot
that's
without Bitcoin
fine.
Core. So
No, but
No,
it can't win.
but
There's in no world can I don't even know what winning means here. I don't even know what that, like winning looks like. But in no world can a Bitcoin knots implementation be the reference client. Zero. It can't happen.
I think if they got 60% of
60% of what?
of the nodes
Of node count?
of the nodes.
But that doesn't
Right,
work
if they-
that way. That doesn't work. That doesn't. Someone could spin up 60,000 nodes in fucking
No,
3 days.
organically. No, I know
But
that.
that's not possible to measure.
what does organically
you
even
you
mean,
can't
Tone?
measure that, Tone. There's no measuring that.
Do you think those knots nodes are even real?
No, he's saying
No, I'm not.
organically. He's saying it
Hold on.
happened
Those are knots
organically.
nodes that are
Hold on.
running.
Can you just shut up for a minute? I mean
Can
organically.
someone make the
Yes.
Morpheus meme where it says, "Do you think those are knots nodes that are running?"
Yes, it is hard to measure. Yes, I understand that a lot of those are not real nodes, but there are real nodes on the network. And if those real nodes, if the majority of those real nodes would have started to become knots, yes, they would have had to spend another few more years. Yes, they would have needed more developers. Yes, they would have needed a bunch of core developers actually leaving core because they're unhappy with core and joining the knots group, right? If they would have spent 2 or 3 more years organically growing knots to be, to start to become an organically primary client, yes, they could have displaced core, but they decided to blow their load early and went for BIP 110.
I don't think they blew their load early. I think they realized that they were running out of time because progress was being made too quickly on first of all, on the creation of brand new second layer um, designs. Like the design space of second layers exploded, right, in a very short period of time, and like unexpectedly so, right? The fact that we started getting like a real path to getting, ZK rollups was surprising to many. I think probably took the feds off, off guard or whatever. And then on top of that, like constructs like ARC, where it's like, okay, now you can actually have, off-chain UTXO sharing in these massive constructs. And so you're getting a lot of, creativity and like building that's happening. And all the while, Lightning is also scaling out really well and becoming much more decentralized.
Yeah, no,
So
no.
everything, they're losing control on everything, right?
I agree with you. They didn't have enough developers, right? And Luke would never allow, knots to be core style where there was actual debate and not a single person decides what it is. But in general, the path to displace core, I mean, knots was the closest thing that could have ever come to displace core as the authority of what the future Bitcoin code changes are. But they still would have had to organically grow knots to be the majority of the reference client.
Yeah.
Yes, that maybe they would have never gotten there. Maybe they would have never gotten there.
I completely
But if they
disagree.
did,
Even if they
there
did,
you go.
even if they did,
I don't think it matters so much. You have to understand who's
the
core
node count
building,
does not matter.
who's core building their client for in particular right now. Like who's the main? I mean, there's obviously multi-pronged, but you have to think about this, right? It's not just for the user, who like the pleb user. I think the primary people they're building it
Economic
for,
actors and miners.
boom. So it's like second layer providers and miners, right? And obviously with everything they're adding in the back of their mind, they're considering, we don't want to make this harder to run for plebs because it's also important that plebs run nodes too. But all these updates have nothing to do with the plebs. It's mostly like, making second layers more efficient and easier to run and also able to be mined in very particular ways, right? You have a bunch of brand new policies that allow miners to order transactions and make relationships and clusters and like all sorts of things like that, which actually help scale and make these things more efficient. But those relationships, it's like users aren't making those types of transactions. Like I'm just saying, like pleb users, right? Like a pleb,
I mean, they could.
well, they could if
like
they
TRUC.
wanted, right? But like, none of the fucking nuts guys are. They're all fucking like, sending one transaction at a time to pay for their fucking coffee.
I mean, like there are things they could use. It's literally the developers need to integrate these features into wallets. For example, like TRUC is pretty amazing for basically not having to have a signed CPFP or an RBF if your fee is too low. This can happen. It's just these things always take time.
Time out. Can you explain that real quick? So how does TRUC solve that issue?
So basically like an example is let's say I send you I'm going to buy your car for 1 Bitcoin, okay? And I don't have much left, so I basically spend like 300 sats on the fee and it's stuck in the mempool. Okay, there's 2 ways currently to get that fee bumped. One, I can RBF the transaction, I could re-sign it, correct?
But that only works if you have leftover balance.
Correct. So I'd have to like basically essentially like I would have to re-sign it, but also the other way is you could CPFP it. So you got to take your wallet and then like pay the extra fee on top and move it through. But what could happen?
And that can only be done by the receiver side.
Yeah, you when I'm buying your car. So now you're kind of like, okay, well, you didn't pay enough, and like we're sitting here for like 2 hours waiting for this deal to go down. And so, but also like, let's say I have another wallet though. I'm like, oh, I have like 1,000 sats in like this mobile wallet or something. Here's what we could do. We could spend this TRUC or this anchor output with this wallet. I could just bump the fee. I wouldn't have to re-sign the original transaction. You wouldn't have to sign anything. I could just attach it and just have that transaction pay the fee. And then also another advantage of TRUC is you can start creating transactions that are like what I consider like 1-to-1. So that means like in the transaction itself, like me paying you, we could actually just do 1 Bitcoin in, or sorry, 1 Bitcoin in and 1 Bitcoin out to you.
Right. And then you bump it with a fee from elsewhere.
And I bump it with the TRUC so that transaction between me and you is isolated. Very easy to account and verify.
I like that.
And then the TRUC is completely separate. So I don't have to worry about a user as a user like, oh shit, I lost my entire balance as a fee because my wallet calculated it wrong or whatnot. So
the TRUC transaction, so that can be broadcast from any other wallet aware
Anybody, like
of?
literally, I could have an emergency like credit card truck booster, basically, where you could go to like portlandtruckboost.com, put in your credit card number and your TXID you want boosted, and I'll pay the fees with my own wallet. I'll just take in USD. Like there,
But the wallet would have to have it enabled, or what?
No, you don't have like. Also, wallet has to do is add an extra out point to that transaction to allow it.
So it would have to have it enabled and have to have that. Okay.
The wallet developers have to enable it.
Does it cost more to have that? Is it more?
A little bit more in terms of the data.
How many more gigabytes?
It's like 4. So
okay.
But my main point
is
like you can.
So everyone should have this enabled pretty much.
Yeah, it's like there's so much opportunity out there to like improve the UX of Bitcoin. It's just, is it being taken advantage of? Like even for monetary uses, like me paying for your car. Yeah, it will be 100%.
Everybody's more worried about fucking spam at this point. They want to fucking sit there and say the $2 transactions are not spam, and every other transaction is.
Wicked. I came up primarily because of the fact that I believe that the Knots camp actually did blow their load early when forming consensus around BIP 110. And I think that, and the reason why is I think that the core V30 op return drama created like such a strong emotional response that it basically forced it like emergency, the emergency in the language, etc., the 7 rules, and just really trying to get this thing done as quick as possible. But at the end of the day, like the carrot on the stick is the benefits that something like this provides. And I think like if I really had to like just take a guess here, if they would have selected more targeted rules and kind of let consensus run naturally over a longer period of time, like really kind of not going with like the outrage campaign and full of hate and attacks, and just kind of like naturally formed like, hey, like for example, let's just limit the script pub key.
It'd be funny.
520 bytes, like my idea.
Yeah, it'd be funny.
Then,
it'd be funny if the feds finally learned how to psyop people with like love instead of hate. That'd be really funny.
Hate's good. Hate's a good initial like.
It never works in the end, though. You understand?
No,
they gotta learn, bro. They gotta psyop with love.
So there's like, I don't want to distract too much, but I think that like tightening up that rule set change plus just forming consensus over like a year or 2 instead of kind of bum rushing it. Because the thing is like when somebody's trying to tell me what to do and quickly, I am much more likely to respond negatively to that. If somebody's telling me like, hey, you got to do this. This is an emergency.
Mr. Hoddle, spook meter goes off.
On the
spook.
Yeah, but well, it's just like instead of selling me on why this should be there, right? Like it would be probably pretty easy to convince me like, okay, we don't need script pub keys larger than 520 bytes, right? And it might even be easy to convince me of like some other stupid rules too. But if they're telling me I have to and it's an emergency, that actually makes me more repulsed against that idea. And as such, that is 100%. The core V30 op return, merge, and deployment caused an emotional reaction to basically move this thing way too fast.
Yeah, but
given the size of the
how many people learned after version 30 the difference between policy and consensus?
Mr. Hoddle, I owe you an apology because I thought people had learned the difference. And I realized after debating some people,
they had no idea.
Like up to 2 weeks ago,
they had no clue. Zero.
They don't know.
Hey guys, Speaking of spooks, how's it going, Pub Lord?
Oh, Mr. Pubby.
OG Pubby. Spook.
Good spook though. Good spook.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones.
Hey, a lot of good points up here, and again, this is like from a low end tech guy who you had to catch up to all of this because what was announced and promised. And I put in a thing, hey, do you guys like spam? Do you like CSAM? No, of course. Well, we got this proposal for you. This is how it was advertised to begin with. Now we're doing a hard fork, and I'm looking at this like, what happened in this version 30 of Core? And I'm finding, oh, wait a second, this is a policy thing. They're still working around it. And I'm looking, oh, wait a second, this BIP has 7 consensus changes, and the entire point of them
consensus changes. One was not documented.
Well, okay, see, I'm not a technical guy, but you come back and you're saying they're pushing this stuff out, and all of a sudden, then, well, it's not really against the spam that we're here. It turns into a big fight against the soul of humanity, and we got to push this through. And if not, guess what? You are you're pro child porn, and you're like, where did this all come from so quickly? Because it's what are we finding out? The numbers have been lied about. So you're telling me it was because of the urgency, and it's temporary. We got to drop this to 55% because of the urgency of the spam. Well, once the spam got moved out, well, so does the urgency. But no, they got to keep pushing it, labeling people, putting people in camps, and it's only when you come. Did I just read this like yesterday? Who's it? Jason Hughes comes out to tell you, oh yeah, that number 20% they've been cramming down your throat.
It's like 6.
No, those are dupe. Yeah, it's 6%.
They're all coming from Romania.
So I'll finish with this. What the hell are we talking about? 2.6% signaling and 6% support? Are you kidding me?
Publord, I just want to offer a small correction. It's not the soul of humanity; it's the soul of Bitcoin.
The plebs are the soul of Bitcoin.
But
it's the
culture.
culture.
So does humanity.
It's the culture of Bitcoin.
But you get my
We're
point.
losing the culture.
No, I know. I was just making fun of that.
I have an answer for this.
That they would be legally liable for the CSAM, by the way, if it would somehow touch their node.
Yeah, if it touches your node, then you're going to get arrested.
Well, hey, this is a great point too.
I don't understand how that was ever a good selling point.
But here's a technical question, and I really need
engagement.
This was early, right? The ordinal thing is an easy point. That's the easy. What it would do, though, does it not force it into the other ones? Would put it like you have a fake pub key, all this other bullshit, where it actually gets stuck on your node.
Yeah, then you can't even fucking get it off of your RAM. Like it's literally it's not necessarily always in your RAM, but I mean it's it's in the UTXO set at that point. So it's Portland. Is it stored? How does that work, actually? Can you explain how the UTXO set is stored versus the block data? And what's the differences in the stuff that's stored in those two?
Yeah, so the difference between block data and the UTXO set is the block data is literally just think of like a notepad document. Every block that comes in, you write the block to that notepad document and you hit save. It is literally append only. There is no removing anything from that except for one condition, which I'll go over.
When there's a stale block, right?
Okay, I'll go over that in a moment. The UTXO set is an active database. This means rows are being added and removed with each block. And so any changes in a block, any UTXO that was spent gets purged. Any UTXO that was created gets added. And that's what this database does. And that is the state of the money in Bitcoin. That state is roughly like 18 gigabytes as a database. But yeah, and the actual blocks directory, my little caveat was that if you prune your node, when you type in like that number, like 2 gigabytes or 4 gigabytes or 600 megabytes, whatever you choose, what you're really doing is you're saying that, hey, I don't need that block data in that blocks directory after this size. So it creates like a moving window essentially. So if you go over that size in your blocks directory, it pushes out the oldest data and adds the newest data. And it kind of runs along the chain, validating everything along the way. Wicked, to your answer about orphan blocks, those still remain inside of the block files. So if you ever, and you can actually query those. You can find the orphan blocks.
Cool. Yeah, but only if your node had received it, right?
Only if your node had received it. That is
so there might be some that may have gotten reorged, but never.
Yeah, it's kind of useful because, like, for example, I was looking for there was a Signet slow blocks demo, and I was like, what did Antoine do here? Like, because I didn't really do a thorough investigation at the time. I was like, oh, let me just go into my node and check out the blocks, and they're still there, so I could pull the transactions out and I could look at the way he DOSed the Signet nodes safely. Yeah, and to Publord, your point earlier, one of the things about like that argument specifically, the CSAM one, like there truly is no way to get better engagement than that. But it only lasts for so long because it's a really it's just an argument short circuiter. But at the end of the day,
it's fear driven. It's fear driven.
It's so emotional, right?
Right, and that's why I think the main reason why so many people are susceptible to kind of like dive in and kind of like embrace that because it's fear driven.
It's a very difficult thing to argue against in a lot of cases, even though like it ultimately comes down to, do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? Because it's impossible to technically stop, right? But with that stated, it really like that short circuits everything, and you kind of see that in terms of the engagement from Bitcoin knots, 110ers currently, etc., like that whole policy debate, that was the peak. It has been a decline ever since. Like if you watch like the leaders in these communities, there during that period, their followers were increasing like 200, 1,000 a day, and now it's like it's been hard stuck since what, like January, basically.
You think those
like,
are real followers?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll classify it. Yeah, I'm gonna make the assumption they are, but sure, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. It's just like, to me, it's an indicator, right? Like I watch, like, for example,
Those things
like,
aren't real indicators, dude. Come on,
no,
that's no better indicator than like node count or fucking commits. It's the same thing.
Okay,
Follower count
whatever.
can be fucking civiled as well. Easy.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. It has no fucking real world effect, other than just it. You know what? Okay, no, sorry. It does matter. When you sybil your node count, what it does do is retards who care about node count, or sorry. When you sybil your follower count, what it does do is retards who care about follower count are like, I should follow him too. You know, so like that's the only thing it does, but it only works on retards.
It's a monkey see, monkey do technique. No,
Boom.
believe it or not,
Ooga
it works
booga.
everywhere on the street.
Ooga
On the
booga.
street,
I
it
follow
works.
this
It
guy.
works.
Ooga booga. He has a lot of followers. Me too.
Well, it also makes you think that you're right. Right. The more followers you're getting, the more you start thinking that you're right, and the more you're like, "Oh, I'm doing the right thing."
100%.
You know.
I like that.
But Wicked, really, like, I just want to state that I'm not saying this is like a serious metric or anything. I'm literally just stating that I can correlate my own personal experience with the engagement, activity, and fervor of these sequences of events to that was the peak. Nothing was crazier than that time. Ever since, like, the core V30 is going to kill Bitcoin. Yeah, it's still pretty good, but didn't quite hit as hard. And BIP 110 has just been a longer, slow, drawn out debate. But that was the peak in terms of like people getting like their emotions riled up. That's all.
Portland, do you think like your idea of them, doing this slowly and trying to get more people that way, but don't you think that the whole emotional marketing is what got the whole following in the first place? Without the emotional
100%.
Marketing, they wouldn't even have as many as they have. So it would be less more likely to fail if they went the slow route.
No, I think because if they went the slow route, they could build credibility over time. And I think I compare it to, for my analogy, be like a YouTube video. If you talk to like content creators, they basically state that like if you do like rage bait or engagement based content, right, you get a really hard initial hit, but your long tail is really poor.
All right, I need to know, Portland, what the fuck does winning look like here? Say knots. Okay, let's take an example that knots. A version of knots has way and above more users than any other version that's on the network. Fine. How does that change anything? That's what I'm curious about.
It doesn't change anything.
It doesn't change anything. So, like, people, this is what I'm trying to. In order to change consensus rules, it's not one implementation that has to agree on it. It's all implementations. It's all so. It doesn't fucking matter if there's a lib Bitcoin all of a sudden, a version of lib Bitcoin is the most popular fucking version. It becomes, quote unquote, the reference client. Okay, so what? Now what? Nothing changes. Every single implementation that's out there has the right to do whatever the fuck they want to do. If users go to that implementation, good. It doesn't matter. It fucking doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that you're using a node and you're validating your transactions. So you might not like the policy on someone's implementation, so maybe you would use a different implementation. Go ahead, Portland. Don't raise your hand. Just cut me off.
I'm thinking about my grandmother.
No, I said nope. I said Portland cut me off.
I know.
Okay, so
I know.
Mr.
But
Hoddle,
it's so quick. I'm so quick.
I want Portland's opinion.
I am too quick for you.
No.
It's kind of like what Grandma said when she said, "What comes fast goes fast."
Go ahead, Portland.
Pun intended.
Okay. I do believe there's a networking effect with clients. And as such, like in the same way that there's always like a dominant web browser, I think there's going to be dominant clients. And if, for example, like in my hypothetical situation of a Knots win, would be Core's reputation deteriorates slowly over time. They get to the point where it's so bad that other client implementations are now starting to get used at exchanges, for example, right? Or other economic actors are starting to pick this up. And then I think that matters.
For what?
Because
he's about to tell you. Shut up.
I'm about
man, shut the fuck up.
I think that the ways you can activate soft forks through the implementation change because the boundaries to get that code merged in are different between, for example, something like core. Each repository can change how they want to activate something. We've already seen, how does Luke activate soft forks? Well, he just merges them and says you're gonna run the code, right? Core is a lot slower than that. And so I'm just saying, like, the governance of the repository is kind of the mechanism to get node runners to enforce the will of that repository.
Then explain SegWit. Explain how SegWit wasn't, it got activated without Bitcoin Core at all.
I mean, I think Bitcoin Core implemented the code paths, correct?
Yeah, Bitcoin Core implemented
the threshold.
BIP 91.
No. Bitcoin Core did not implement BIP 91. James Hill.
I want to comment on the SegWit thing, but
James Hill.
Portland, yeah, I agree with you.
Wait a second. Wait, not 91. Not 91. Not 91. No. Sorry.
You're talking about BIP 141.
With SegWit,
BIP.
Like,
stop. SegWit Core implemented BIP 9 is what I meant to say in BIP 141, and so it did have an activation path, which is why we were starting to get signaling right before like 148 and 191. So
Yeah,
it did. It had activation.
Yeah, no, they made a path to BIP 9, but it didn't get activated with BIP 9.
I mean, it got closer than fucking BIP 110 did ever.
No, yeah, sure.
Got pretty close.
I agree with that. Yeah,
let me comment on what happened with SegWit, right? So with SegWit, when the core developers came out and they were against the user-activated soft fork, we all knew they were secretly for it, right? Because everybody wanted SegWit. That's the main difference.
No, that's false, man. Are you kidding me? Blue Matt was ready to sell me BIP 148 coins. I was getting into fights with Greg Maxwell. I got into fights with Peter Willa. There were Bitcoin Core developers that ran BIP 148. I'm not saying Vladimir, he ran a BIP 148 node. Gregory Sanders ran a BIP 148 node. Luke Lombroso ran a 148 node. There was a handful of them that were for 148. Most of them wanted BIP 149. Most of them did not want to flag day because they saw how risky a fucking flag day fork is. Because it could have split. But at that point, we were ready to split off. Like a lot of us are ready to go.
I was too. No, Matt. Look, I was too. I completely agree with you on all of that. But again, the difference is, UASF in 2017 was pushing a change that everybody wanted, including core. I mean, they coded it, right? So obviously they wanted it. That's the big difference, right? So this is why that user-activated soft fork actually had a chance to succeed, and it did. Well, it would have. I believe it would have succeeded. Would have been messy, but I think it would have succeeded if the miners didn't cave.
The point I'm trying to make is it doesn't matter which client is being used the most. I mean, right now, the latest version of Bitcoin Core is not the most popular one. It's the most popular one is what? Version 29, I think, is still the most popular one. So, like,
well, someone's been sibling 27 for some reason. I can't really understand why that's happening.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, like, it doesn't fucking matter when consensus is on the line. It takes.
Oh wait, I have another point.
Yeah, go.
So getting back to the whole fucking Luke being compromised thing.
Let's go.
So you know how Luke's dashboard, which I'm using his data for my node count dashboard. It's just directly piped in from his HTML node count, whatever. All of the BIP 110 nodes. Let me look at it right now. But like pretty much all the BIP 110 nodes since the past 3 months almost have been growing in a very perfectly linear fashion, just up and to the right, straight line, like no, very, very little variance from that line, like basically just up and to the right, a little tiny, like, but nothing crazy. Like all the other lines, if you're looking at like the core 30 plus counts and the knots counts, like goes up, it goes down, there's variance, right? Nodes drop off, nodes reconnect, his estimations change in whatever ways. But for BIP 110, for some reason, it just is straight up to the right, like straight line, straight as can be. So I was thinking,
that's
so I was always,
you would expect that,
yeah, of course it's very organic. No, but here's the thing.
No, but
right?
you would expect that.
No, stop. Here's the thing. Of course it's not organic. Something's funky. But what I'm wondering is, like, I was always wondering, So is it Luke that's faking that shit? Or is it somebody who's watching his dashboard that is then like reverse
It could
engineering
be
what he
both.
needs
I
to
have a
add to
feeling you're
fake
going to
it?
see a
Oh,
bunch
wait,
of
one
nodes
second.
drop. That's what's
No,
going to
no, well,
happen.
I know, but you're not getting, you're not letting me get to the point here. If for whatever reason, some fucking feds thought that this was an important thing to fucking start sibling, and they knew they couldn't just spike it because that's an obvious symbol, and they knew how Luke was actually presenting this data in his dashboard because it's a, he won't tell us how he's like deriving these metrics and estimates. So the thing is, like, unless you're watching this and then in real time spinning up nodes or taking them down to like keep it perfectly straight, because remember, I believe there's real growth, right? By no means I'm saying like, I know like Start9 has said they've had record sales and blah blah blah. Like I believe that shit, right? But the node count went from 7,000 up to fucking 17,000 over the past 3 months. You think 10,000 nodes came on the network in 3 months? Get the fuck out of here for BIP 110. No fucking way. Get the fuck out of here, dude. That is mostly sibbled, and it's sibbled in a way that is like just so obviously straight up and to the right that only a retard would look at that and be like, "Woo, we're
Well,
winning!" Right?
some of these guys are bragging that they're running like
Well,
6 and
but
10 nodes,
but
so
here's the thing,
that's what's
though.
happening.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So like, okay, but it's perfect. So it's not just random like people are running more than one node. No, that would still have weird variance and dropouts, and like it wouldn't be up and to the right. It'd have plateaus and then going back up and spikes up, like, or like going up a lot and then plateauing. So it'd have variance, not just straight up to the right. Straight up to the right tells me either Luke is padding the shit, which I don't think he would be, or somebody is directly watching what Luke's code is doing and is padding the shit on their end. They have a script for their AWS servers just fucking spinning that shit up or taking them down to make sure that shit keeps growing up and to the right.
Wicked.
I wouldn't be
What about
surprised
just
if
using the symlinks
Hypothetically.
and just
of
creating
course.
more nodes?
What was that?
I said, what about using your symlinks and just creating more nodes?
Well, yeah, I mean, we've already discussed how easy it is to do that and how cheap it is to do that.
Yes.
So if you know how Luke estimates his node counts, you can basically figure out the cheapest way to do that because you know how you can game it, right?
Okay, but
He
what
does
is that?
some things to try to like decouple some of the stuff that's obvious symbols, but he's obviously not doing a good enough job because you can see these symbols throughout his
But even if you couldn't,
throughout his data.
even if you couldn't see them, even if they were all organic, it doesn't mean anything. It like means no. It literally means nothing. Like it's a completely useless metric. We're gonna know that because in a short time you're gonna see all those nodes drop off. It
Dropped,
doesn't
yeah.
fucking matter. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't
I
matter
am
how many
curious.
nodes people are running.
I am curious to see this dashboard in particular because it is based on Luke's data. It's probably going to get fucked.
You're gonna
And
see.
so it's
I'm making a prediction right now. You're gonna see about 30% of the nodes drop off within the next 24 hours. Within the next 24 to 48 hours.
within the next 2 hours.
Wicked. I would
Well,
guess it's someone on the core side, actually, if they're being that like blatant.
Yeah,
No, because someone
sibling,
no.
And then
Well,
it's gonna
no,
run
because
right
you have to
after
think about this.
activation.
Well, no, because if it's someone on the core side, that means that they're watching Luke's output, and then they're like, if the output is, well, here's the thing: you can't do that because it's always reactive, and you would see a variance in the straightness. Like it wouldn't be straight if you're always reactive. And so if Luke outputs a number, right? Because again, these are Luke's estimates, so it's not like overall real network node counts. It's
Right.
him
Someone's listening.
deriving
Someone's
some
listening to
estimates.
that and reacting to that. Okay.
But the thing is, you can't. I mean, if you're listening and reacting, then it only works some of the time because some of the time he's going to publish a number and it'll be too late for you to react, and then there will be like variance instead of it being straight. You have to actually know how he's doing it prior to it so that you can know how to spin up nodes. Like you can basically measure it yourself or predict how it's going to be and then spin up nodes to counteract it, right? Or maybe you even are in there like working with him to do it or something. I don't know, man. But like, it doesn't work if you're just an observer,
I don't know.
because then
If
you're,
there's a pretty consistent trend line, why can't you just continue like programmatically hitting that?
well, because you don't know when the next day that some actual real adoption spike's going to happen. And if you just add to it, then, I mean, I guess it would be a small variance. Let's see how much it is like per day. I guess it might not work if you're padding things on a per day basis. And then if you spike a little too much, it won't be super obvious, and then you'll just take a day off. So that could be it. Let's see.
But again, like, what does that do? Someone
It gives them
it gives them hope.
It gives us something to talk about.
Oh, okay, maybe okay, fine, okay. In that case, then I guess that's
if they got 55%, bro.
It's been about 1,000. It's been about
1,000
1,000.
later on, bro.
You know what it's been? It's almost been precisely 100 nodes a day for the past like three months. Like almost precisely 100 nodes a day. That's kind of funny. And you know what? Actually, it might be 110 nodes a day.
Absolutely, someone
That'd be
just trolling and
hilarious.
then giving them false hope if it's 110.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Well, I'm surprised that this person trolling hasn't just rugged him right now, like right before.
No. You want to rug it right before. You want to rug
right
it
an hour,
before.
like 10 minutes before or an hour before. Like when?
I'd say like, yeah, when 2016 block, you do it like in 2014 block, 2013. That's around that.
So like 30 minutes before or something.
A couple blocks before.
Rug them.
You just rug it.
Get it back down to the real number.
I think you're gonna see. I think you will see a bunch of nodes start dropping off because I'm pretty sure there are Bitcoin Core guys that are sibling these fucking knots nodes.
Well, I mean, I'm running a BIP 110 node.
For real. There's a bunch of people. Yeah.
We need a prediction market for how many nodes.
Oh, you know what? Hey, you know what someone said? Mr. Hoddle, do you see that post? Apparently, Yeti Cold uses Core 27, so maybe it's not a Sybil.
Oh, there you go. It's all everyone migrating to fucking Yeti.
That's funny.
JW,
hey guys, I have a controversial question that's a little off topic, but it's slightly on topic.
Okay, go ahead.
Love this question.
Okay, so I have a very strong opinion on this question, but I'm curious, like your guys' takes, and if you can poke holes in the way I'm looking at it. So
okay, ask the question. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, it's like a hypothetical scenario where I'll just say like the way I believe it, and then I'll explain it. Right. So I believe that the majority of actual Bitcoin held is what kind of control the rules. So if there's like a scenario of, let's say, 90% of node runners, like, 90% of exchanges, 90% of, a hash rate. But if like majority of Bitcoin held disagree with what all of those want, then the Bitcoin held can dump whatever side or rules they make. And the rules will be basically what the actual Bitcoin held. So I think it's controversial because
response to this.
Okay, one second. One more thing.
Yeah.
So it's controversial because, like, people can think like, oh, well, then Saylor has a big, a take on what Bitcoin is. But I think that if Saylor has, 1 million coins, but then a group has 5 million collectively, then Saylor's take is really not that big compared to that group's that has 5 million coins, because that's 5 times way more stronger than him.
Bitcoin
so I don't think it's like that much.
Bitcoin is not a proof of stake system.
Right, not proof of stake.
That doesn't mean it's proof.
Right.
Well, first of all, that doesn't mean it's proof of stake
for sure. But I'm saying like
there's no direct. Wait a second.
You could dump the Bitcoin. You could lower the value of the block reward for those few blocks or whatever it is, and then you.
But if there's not a true economic incentive to follow you onto the new chain, then you're not going to actually gain market share.
You can't have a bunch of whales dump a bunch of Bitcoin and think all of a sudden you're going to have a steady block reward. The value of the block reward will be steady for the foreseeable future. It doesn't work that way.
But that's for temporary. But let's say therere's actual like long-term demand.
Then that becomes the real Bitcoin. Then if the market actually says that these rules are no good, these rules are the what we see as Bitcoin, then that's going to be Bitcoin. Exactly what happened with Ethereum and Ethereum.
Okay, so then my thinking is basically caveated
it could go back,
it's not only the Bitcoin currently held, but it's the
Taylor,
Bitcoin going forward that has demand.
What you're missing, though, is that no matter what, you still need a node that represent whatever consensus rules you want. So even if you yourself are not running that node, you still need somebody to value your rules and to run a node.
Right. And the other thing is this. Here's the other thing.
Right, but my thinking is,
wait. Here's the other thing, Kilo, because you're not thinking of it. You're not thinking the second move in this chessboard. Okay. So the first move in the chessboard is Saylor dumps because he doesn't like the legacy chain. He wants the quantum update chain. Okay. So Saylor dumps, and he nukes the legacy chain. So now what happens? Well, everybody who knew that Saylor was going to dump was just waiting on the sidelines until he nuked the price, and now they're just going to sell their coins on his side and fucking pick up the other ones for sats on the Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll get the real the real Bitcoin that has the better incentives and the better economic incentives, and then it will come back. And then, I mean, moving forward, of course, a big problem is like demand. So I mean, I think the real driver of Bitcoin is how much you're paying your miners. I mean, if the root definition of what Bitcoin is whichever chain has the best double spend protection because it has the most accumulated proof of work, right? Then you have to basically understand that, well, you have to keep your miners fed, right? And if you feed them enough and you feed them more on one chain than the other, then of course they're going to start coming to the other chain.
That's only in a hard fork scenario, but in an evil soft fork scenario, Saylor does have a role, and that's why evil soft forks are so dangerous, and we have to watch out for them. Because with an evil soft fork, all you need basically...
For an evil soft fork, you would counteract that by making them permanently split. Like you would do a...
You would have to do
you would do a...
But that's already takes a centralized force, and then you have, it's not good.
What's centralized force? What are you talking about, centralized force?
Oh, I mean,
it would be a decentralized grassroots movement to counteract it. I mean, just think about
who's releasing the URSF client?
A bunch of people would probably do it, to be honest. I mean, Super Testnet released one against fucking BIP 110. I think there's been maybe another one or two, but I mean, no one's using them because nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think if there's a lot of people creating their own fucking UASF clients, you have to trust them. You have to trust the clients. It's not going to be good, man. It's not a good day.
Well, here's the thing, though.
I don't think a user...
Well, wait a second. For a URSF, so if the UASF has a flag day, then it's pretty clear when you have to reject those blocks, right? And even if you reject them at different times with different URSFs, eventually the URSF chains, since they're all backwards compatible, will just follow the legacy chain, which eventually, grows larger than any point that has been rejected by any of the different URSFs. So it doesn't, I mean, you could have a million different URSFs. Everyone could fucking just go talk to their clanker and be like, make me a URSF that just rejects it. And they could have all sorts of rejection methods. And it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, they follow the chain with the most proof of work that doesn't go against their consensus rules with this new rejection. And so it doesn't matter what the rejection is at the end of the day, as long as they're rejecting the update in some way or another. So if the update has like 8 consensus changes, you could have one URSF that rejects it one way, another one that rejects it another one that rejects it another one that rejects it just because it has signaling blocks.
That's going to be messy.
It might be, but it might not. And then if it is messy, then you just wait and see like which one works. Maybe your node stalls for a second because you picked the wrong one, and you just flip to the other one. That's it.
But the point is that we're talking about different sides, and that's only during a hard fork when there's actual like 2 chains, right? Like you have 2 chains.
When you have a UASF and a URSF, then they are by definition a hard fork of each other, but they're still soft forks of the legacy.
Yeah, right.
So it gets confusing because you start to blur the lines.
It gets so like what Kilo was saying before, like that scenario was literally at a like if there's a chain split, like a clean chain split. With soft forks, whole different game. It's an entirely different way you would defend against that, and it's a lot more complicated than fucking hard forks.
By the way, if BIP, let's say BIP 91 never happened for whatever reason, and so BIP 148 got a chain split, and they had like 10% hash rate, so they were getting blocks, whatever, like once every hour and a half or something like that. So it was reasonable, but it was still relatively slow. Now, do you think the legacy chain would have at that point started to run a URSF because they'd be afraid that y'all would have overtaken them eventually?
Bro, no, they were planning on fucking. They had $100 million slush fund ready to destroy the minority.
They were just going to reorg the shit out of you guys.
They wanted to reorg it back to benefit.
Yeah, they were going to attack the chain. They were going to attack the chain.
Decided to say the whole proof of work change. And at that point, it made sense, right? Like, if you're going to fucking attack the chain, then we don't have a choice but to get a different hashing algorithm. But yeah, they were literally trying. They were going to just reorg it to Genesis. They did not want that chain to exist. But
you can't reorg it to Genesis.
I don't believe. I don't. That whole.
Reorg it to the split. You mean?
So Hoddle, I would caveat it with not only just like current Bitcoin held, because then, that might look like a proof of stake, but it's also like Hoddle is saying for future demand for that Bitcoin rules, of course.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I looked at during the block size wars. So I saw that. Yeah.
Can I back up? Can I back up, because I don't think people understand what Hoddle and I mean when we say attack the chain. What Bitmain would have done is, if the BIP 148 is getting 10% of the hash rate, then Bitmain would have put 15% of the hash rate and mined in stealth until they ended up with a longer chain, and then they would have reorged the UASF side.
I see what you're saying.
I don't even think it was Bitmain. It was that fucking, I forget his name. It was that other Chinese miner who had a pool. He was pretty well known back then, and
that's dangerous though, because you can only do that if.
They were. It was. I don't believe they even had $100 million.
Actually, that's an interesting aspect to this game theory I hadn't thought about. So if you're the legacy side, and let's say you're tight, like you got 3 mining pools that are tight and represent more than 51% of the hash rate, and they start on the legacy side, but then like the other pools start going over for whatever reasons. The 3 ones that are tight can just, like you're saying, 51% attack the other chain and rewrite everything, and then get all the block rewards for that, and then they'd all be cohesive instead of like flipping over one by one.
Yeah, but you'll know it's happening because that hash rate would leave the other side, right?
And
so
then
you will see a big dip.
Then you have to do a hard fork, URSF, change the hashing algorithm. Or there's nothing you could do. You have to fucking switch hashing algorithms at that point.
Then just realize that these 3 large pools are about to like fuck everything up and just rug everybody.
Right, but look at it. But look at it now.
Yeah,
right now,
but that's not going to work. That's going to create a shit coin, and then everyone else is going to be like, "Well, I mean, I don't want to be on the shit coin," and then that's just splitting more of the network. And
but
in the end, the one that stays around is the one that.
Put yourself in that position though. SHA-256 at that point had covert ASIC boost. There was at that point
you could. But you win though. You still get your soft fork that you wanted. Like they admit defeat. They just don't want to lose rewards. So everyone wins, other than the small pools. They lose in this scenario. And you get like a 51% attack that succeeded, which is a little scary for Bitcoin. But like maybe at that point moving forward, you're like, all right, that was a one-time chance. If you ever do it again.
But then we're still saying that the demand going forward is also what matters too. So like a few things here, right? Like the current event, this like screams and shows me that there's just literally no actual value for these rules, right? There's no futures markets. There's no actual like volume on prediction markets. Like, so the nodes don't matter. If you have 99% of the nodes, it doesn't matter if there's no money behind it, because at the end of the day, yes, you do have to run the rules, but the money will run the rules that they want. And then like during the block size, during the block size, during that time, the way I saw it is, okay, there's 2 things. One is I value the smaller blocks because I want a Bitcoin that will be more decentralized, and to me that was more valuable. But then I was also ready that I'm okay if my side will have like be less valuable in the short term. It might be actually worth less money right now, but I want this one for the long term because this is the one I want to use.
That's exactly what happened.
You get to stack more of it.
Yeah, that's kind of what happened. I mean, like they pumped the fucking price pretty high in the beginning and they pumped the price.
But I don't think it ever eclipsed it, right? Did it actually eclipse it?
Eclipsed. It was more profitable to mine Bcash for a while. It was.
No, but mine Bcash isn't the Bcash. That's because
Roger
worth
fucking
more.
dumped his shit, right?
But mining is not the same thing as the Bcash is worth more. I'm saying
no,
I was even ready
because they dropped the difficulty too low. That's why. No, it's because they dropped the difficulty.
What happened was they dropped the difficulty, and as they dropped the difficulty, they were also dumping a Bitcoin and buying Bcash.
Right, but it still wasn't enough to eclipse the price.
But it wasn't enough. No, but it did fool a lot of people, right?
But what I'm saying is, even if it was enough to eclipse the price,
it didn't matter.
It didn't matter. But to me, it didn't matter because like I was ready for my side to be less valuable in the short term because I wanted the other one, and I felt like that one's gonna be more valuable in the future, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they got that shit up to half a Bitcoin. Like one Bcash, you could have sold it for fucking half a Bitcoin. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, cool. So I think that we pretty much all align on this theory. This way of thinking.
But the one thing that I think I don't know if we align on it yet or not, but like even though all the money is going on one side of the chain through exchanges, you still like in order to interact with the network, you need
to run the rules,
nodes.
right?
Somebody
does.
That's
But
why I
my
keep
theory
saying,
is the money will run it.
yes,
the money will run.
that's
right.
why I'm
Even if
saying
they're 10% of nodes, if the money's
number of
behind it,
nodes
that's what
don't matter.
matters.
The number of nodes. The only thing the number of nodes matter is that about decentralization and actually try to shut down Bitcoin. So if there's only fucking two nodes that are economic, pretty easy to shut down Bitcoin. But if there are thousands of economic nodes that are participating on the network around the world, Bitcoin's a lot more decentralized and it's a lot harder
but
to shut
this
down.
gives a whole different definition to economic nodes, right? You can have an
I'm
economic
curious
node.
to define that. What is actually defined
Right,
as economic?
that's what I'm saying. Because
what
look,
the numbers?
this is a whole different thing
get
now.
Numbers to it.
You can say
amount,
economic node
no,
is.
it's not. It's not a whole different thing. It's the same thing. It's the amount. It's the value that's going through that node that wants those new rules. So if you and all your friends want these new rules and they're all connecting to that one node, that node is now processing all those transactions for you.
Yeah, but let's say for example,
I'm asking you specifically what that volume amount is.
Oh, anything.
Well, I'm looking at it like this.
Scale.
Like,
it could be anything.
This
It
is
could
the
be
reason why I think
100,000
it's
sats
different.
or.
Look, I'll tell you why I think it might be a little bit different. So let's say there's a Coinbase, right? That they're obviously an economic node, but if they don't hold Bitcoin themselves, and the volume that's going
it's not
through
about
them.
holding Bitcoin. It's not about holding Bitcoin. It's about how much Bitcoin it's going.
I see. At the end of the day, it still goes back to the actual Bitcoin that wants.
You need productive.
I see what you're saying. It's still
you
at
need
the end of the day, it's the
productive
same.
users.
If you
wait,
have
1 second, guys. You need productive users. If you don't have a productive user base who's actually demanding Bitcoin, then all you have is sellers, or you have nothing, and like it just doesn't. There's no price. You need to have productive users at the end of the day who are demanding Bitcoin. And whatever side has better incentives to have more productive users join it and demand more Bitcoin is the side that's just going to be Bitcoin at the end of the day.
The definition of an economic node if you're not running.
There is no definition of an economic node. That's, it's kind of a dumb idea. It's economic actors.
It's a node. It's someone.
It's just whoever's an economic actor, honestly, because it's like I could be fucking, I could be Saylor and not run a node and fucking run a business that all of a sudden is hoovering up 1 million coins, not running.
But Saylor is using Coinbase.
Not necessarily. They're using Coinbase's mostly Coinbase's, but it wouldn't even matter if they spread it around across all the exchanges.
Yeah, but hold on. But during a consensus failure,
right,
she's going to have
to
pick.
They'll have influence. Right, exactly. You're right.
If Kraken is fucking saying one thing and Coinbase is saying another thing, he's going to be like, all right, well, I guess I'm leaving Coinbase and I'm going to go to Kraken.
He'll just spin up his own.
And that node represents the economic value of how much is going through it.
So
That's
you're right. Every
of course I'm right,
every user has to choose a consensus rule set to receive their Bitcoin to when they're demanding it.
There's no Bitcoin without these nodes. You have to use it. Someone's using it.
Yeah, but there can be a Coinbase that has.
All right, hey guys, I'm gonna head off. Have fun. I'm gonna stream in about an hour and a half.
I'm streaming. Everyone's gonna be here. Tone.
A bunch of
good luck. You should just come here.
Jump in online for 10 minutes and then come back. We're gonna listen in. I'm gonna have it there will be a point where we're like, hey guys, let's listen in on Wicked. I'll have it on my phone and then it'll come through the speakers. But people are welcome to come through for 5-10 minutes and come back.
So Wicked, it's my turn. To
are you freaking out now?
Schizo today.
Later, here we go.
It's my turn to go Schizo. So I'm hearing some very interesting fucking things right now.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm hearing that Mechanic is the one who was paying for all of the Sybil nodes.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that Mechanic is the one who's been paying for all the Roughneck hash rate.
Yeah.
And I'm also hearing that Luke is about to try and pull a schizo fit and change the board of directors of the company so he can drive it into the ground, mandating mining BIP 110.
Wait, I missed it. What happened? What happened?
Bro.
I missed it. How to go upstairs?
Talking about, dude. I'm adding it to the board.
Repeat.
I need more thread.
Hold on. What happened?
I am hearing things through the grapevine from people that I consider credible that Mechanic is the one who's been paying for and running the not Sybil nodes the entire time. that Mechanic is the one who's been paying for all the Roughnecks hash rate that's been signaling.
Right on the nose.
And that Luke is about to try to change the entire board of the company so that he can mandate mining BIP 110 and drive the whole fucking company into the ground.
Yeah,
because everyone will move their hash rate.
Yeah, but he needs, I mean, he better do it soon, no?
Yeah.
Dude.
He's got like a little bit of time to do this. He's got to go to overtime right now. Man.
I mean, he's in DEFCON mode right now, bro. He's ready to pull the plug.
No, dude, this will destroy that company.
That's fine. Jason Hughes will rebuild it better. Build back better, baby.
Jason will be the guy, yeah. Hold on.
What will pull hash rate back? What will pull hash rate back after that?
The fact that Jason will hire us, and we will get that hash rate back.
Yeah. We'll shield the fuck out of him. Bob Burnett will shield the fuck out of him. I mean, I think Jason's the one who's been holding the whole thing together, anyways.
Seems like it at this point.
Did Jason do like a complete 180 on these guys?
Yeah, because they're fucking crazy.
I wouldn't say he's done a 180. He still philosophically has the same views, but he's not going to be a retard and deny reality. Like what is obvious.
You know what it is. You know what it is. It's just that the feds couldn't get to him. That's what it is. They couldn't find any dirt on him.
Enough Bitcoin. Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't find any dirt on him. That's what it is.
Either way, it's starting to look like pretty close to a 180.
I mean, it's not a 180. It's more so just like this is a dumb idea that's not going to work.
Intellectually honest, he is not sticking his head in the sand and denying reality.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked to Jason many times up here, and he's always.
But it completely contradicts a lot of like their talking points. That's why I'm looking at it as a
I guess I will say he did a 180 ever since the V30 thing. Because remember when he was saying like if V30 gets merged, then I'm going to sell all my Bitcoin. Remember that?
Right. And he said he sold them, but then bought them back lower. That's nice,
lower.
Right? Great.
Nice, good trade, bro. Hope you pay taxes on that shit so the Fed can't get any dirt on you.
Dude, this is just like, if that's like legit, that is crazy. Like, dude, they took a fucking company that could have easily within a year been like 5-10% of the network hash rate and just destroyed it for nothing but just like schizo nonsense. Like, it is wild.
I mean, Schizo nonsense that's being pushed by his handlers.
Shinobi, Wicked's on a whole thing right now. This is all connected.
It's all connected, bro.
The cold cards.
Yo, let him cook. Let him cook.
Schizoing right now.
It's all connected.
There is no more. I am here. Schizoing is not allowed anymore. Shut up, Hoddle.
It's all connected.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started, bro.
Let him cook.
It's all
Did
connected.
you not hear what Mechanic said, saying that Udi was involved in the fucking cold hard hack? Like, come on.
Oh, what are you talking about? There was a list, and we were all exposed.
I'm on that list. I am an Israeli. I am an Israeli spy.
Listen, you sound like you have an Eastern European accent.
That's probably because my parents are from the Soviet Union. Maybe that's why.
Oh, well, there you go.
Shalom.
But Israel accent. I never heard that one before. I've never heard an Israel accent.
It's because a lot of people, you have a little bit of a heavy Brooklyn accent.
That's because I'm from Brooklyn. That. Holy shit, man! This guy is on point.
I know.
Do I have a Brooklyn accent?
Guess what? I'm from fucking Queens. I could tell you.
My peoples are here.
That's why we all sound similar in a way.
Wait, who said that?
I don't know. The accent just doesn't sound typical.
I wonder what city has like the most percentage of Bitcoiners compared to the population or whatever, like a higher percentage.
Probably a very small city that's like has a Bitcoin circular economy.
The capital of Bhutan.
Well, not like those outliers, like people that like organically learned about Bitcoin in the early days.
Okay, Kimmy, remove outliers. I don't want to know about those stupid circular economy cities. 1 million population or higher. And now give me the names of all the Bitcoiners, please. And addresses. Thank you very much.
And private keys, too.
Right, and check their networks and see if I can backdoor their networks and spy on them. It's going to be a brave new world, people.
Idiot, you
I
didn't
actually
say
heard
make no
about.
mistake.
No, you don't need to with Kimmy. Kimmy don't miss.
Oh, fuck. Cooked.
I actually heard about this list. I'm curious to see. Whatever. If I'm on it, I'm on it. But I'm just curious. I know Mr. Hoddle, of course, and Wicked are on it for sure. But
Oh, Cato the Elder dropped a banger list like 2 days ago or a day
Well,
ago.
they just checked my checkbox of like, is this guy schizophrenic? And I got that checkbox, so that might, I don't know if that gives me an out or like, or takes me out. I mean, it could be one of the two, I think.
You're an asset.
Yeah, you can use me. Just kidding. I'm a wild card, bro. You fuck around, you find out.
Dude, I just like
That's why I need to get a
cannot
job
get
at
over.
Foundation to keep them in check.
Dude, I cannot get over like how insane this is. Like Ocean could have been one of the fucking biggest mining pools in like a couple years if they had just shut the fuck up about their insane fucking nonsense and just ran the mining pool. Like that it's fucking insane.
So, I mean, do you have any idea of legally what kind of trouble this might put Luke into if he does this and drives into the ground on purpose?
Pretty sure that would dance on the line of criminal liability for the fiduciary duty to shareholders.
Yeah,
and
but he
investors.
got the feds behind him, so he has a way out, right?
I mean, he just fucked up their entire operation by fucking this whole thing up. I mean, it did waste a lot of people's time, but
Well, it could have been the commands from the feds in that case.
right, blow up the ocean mining pool because like it's gonna do anything to Bitcoin when that happens? No.
I don't know. All I'm hearing is distressed asset and GoFundMe roll up in a few months. Shinobi, I nominate you as CEO.
Dude, I barely know jack shit about mining. No, I don't want to deal with that shit.
I can learn quick. Hire me.
I remember what a
I'll
fucking
connect all the
nightmare
dots.
headache that was like 10 years ago. No.
just hold the fan by the chips, bro. You'll be fine.
I don't know. I wasn't like fully bought on the whole ocean thing. Like I think it's great for miners to be able to choose their blocks, but at the end of the day, I think still the mining pool controls that, and I think most miners really just want to get paid the most for their hash. So I don't know if like each one is in the business of actually maximizing that themselves. So I think that the opportunity to do that is cool, but it's not realistic for like everybody, anyways. So
Their margins were higher.
I
No?
think we need to figure out how to.
That though wasn't real quick, Wicked. That wasn't because of the templates though, Setsus. That was their tides like payout system.
Gotcha.
That's a different component.
well, in that case, then there's space in the market for a mining pool to have a better payout system then. As long as it's paying the most per hash, people will
But
eventually want that,
that's
right?
Dude, I mean, this could have
when
been a huge like kickstart to where Stratum V2 is going. Just in like a half hacky, like still centrally like locked in way. But like the whole logic of decentralizing templates like that beyond just like must censorship resistance is you open up the experimentation for new like block packing strategies and fee optimization strategies, and any random asshole who figures out some slight optimization, everybody has the incentive to immediately adopt it because we all make more money then. And it just opens that whole space up. And the way they can structure payouts where if your block comes in like below profitability compared to like the standard comparison or metric, you get paid less, but everyone else gets paid like disproportionate. Like they get paid out the same as if you hit the baseline. And whoever actually found that block like takes that penalty. But it still gives room for that experimentation without fucking the whole pool.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like you got to build the most
That's
optimal
cool.
block, and if you don't, you take the hit, but nobody else will. That's it.
Um, what new soft fork would make miner payout way better? Some sort of covenants?
Give me French CTV and check sig from stack right now.
Drive chains?
No.
No. Shut up.
French CTV, please.
You know what? Drive. Yeah, no, never mind. No.
Well, you asked what soft fork would give miners more money, right?
I
Isn't
thought
drive
chains
shit?
technically isn't a soft fork.
Well, not anymore, but yeah.
Well, no, but even before it wasn't either, according to Paul.
Paul's retarded and is like glossing over in a very dangerous way the entire game theory of forking. When you are not enforcing new rules and only miners are, guess what? The miners can just turn it off too if a majority defect, and the whole network won't give a shit if the miners are the only ones enforcing it. Like, that is one of the most like absurdly nonsensical, like bullshit lies Paul has ever told about drive chains. Like, no, that is literally handing miners the power for 51% of them to just instantly rug every drive chain in one block.
Sounds spooky.
Like, you have to have the economy actually enforcing consensus rules, or they are not safe. Miners can just defect and undo them.
For someone that doesn't know anything about mining, you tend to know a lot about mining. I think you should
That is
do
just
a hostile
general
takeover.
fucking Bitcoin game theory shit.
I understand. Maybe you should do that hostile takeover on Ocean, bro. I think you should be the one.
Should fork Ocean.
I don't got any fucking money for that, dude. I'm poor.
So is the BIP 110 block at 4 o'clock Eastern time?
That's when I'm starting the space. Yep.
It's in 2 hours and 2 minutes estimated.
But it's not gonna be it's not gonna be until wait a second. Did it get pushed out now? 4:30? Oh, actually a little bit earlier. It was scheduled for 5 this morning, but 4:30 now, so we'll get a good 30 minutes beforehand.
Wicked, are you pro covenants?
I see a lot of very useful ways in which covenants could be used, yes.
Nice. Any particular flavor or just in general, you would not be against it?
Activation. In general, I wouldn't be against it. I don't know enough about the differences and like slight variance to choose one or the other. But generally, like the idea of just being able to direct Bitcoin programmatically to a specific address with a specific amount attached to it seems pretty useful.
Yeah, I think it's been enough time, and again, like Shinobi or there's another core dev who I asked him his opinion on covenants because I've been doing a lot of research into them, and his answer was basically, I'm a fan of whatever has the most momentum and the highest chance of going through. So yeah, French CTV is definitely in alignment with Shinobi there. That's definitely the closest that we have right now.
Did I hear another core dev other than Shinobi?
Why do you need to hear from anybody but the lead maintainer?
He is the core dev.
So I just want to know when this predicts market is going to resolve. Now that it's going to be like pretty much BIP 110 is going to die on arrival. Like, are we really going to wait until September 1st for them to give us our money, or do you think it'll be like a couple days and they'll be like, all right, it's pretty clear they lost and we're just going to resolve it early?
They have weird rules. What is it? A poly market prediction market thingy?
Like a Bitcoin only, like beta.
How are the contracts written? Is it like DLCs or what?
No, it's just fucking one dude who presses yes or no. He's the oracle.
The future of finance. I fucking love it.
What Shinobi? Dude, there was a market.
It's on.
There was a market of whether or not Shinobi would say retarded.
Yeah, it's
like within the next month. Like it's just there's such retarded
Someone took
markets
the
on there.
no on that.
Dude,
And then Shinobi rugged them.
I was not even like consciously aware that I did it. And then Stu was just like, "What the fuck, Shinobi?"
He bought all the no's. Stupid Stu.
Yo, Shinobi, I shit you not, dude. You almost blew out my fucking monitor yelling at some dude one day. Like and I have a brand new monitor. Like, what the fuck? You were yelling at the top of your fucking lungs, and every time you unmiked, my monitor you couldn't hear sounds anymore. It was insane.
Dude,
No,
I have very little patience for arrogant stupidity and dishonesty. And when I encounter those
What about Schizo
things,
episodes?
I lose my shit.
can someone fix
Bro,
Brian's microphone the next time he comes up here, please? Too.
dude, Brian, it's like impossible. I don't think it's the microphone. I think it's his voice. He just overtakes the fucking microphone. Because I've known him for 5 years and through like a couple of phones, and it's the same thing over and over again, bro. It's his voice. There's something going on with that.
Does he think he like has to like touch the microphone to his lips when he's talking, or I don't know. There's something there to debug for sure.
Volume.
I'm gonna see you guys in an hour. Take care.
The craziest thing is that in person, he's not loud at all. I fucking have to tell him to like speak up because I can't hear what the fuck he's saying half the time.
Who, Shinobi?
Brian.
Literally whispers. Fucking whispering. I'm like, dude, speak up. Can't fucking hear you.
That's gotta be a bit incredible.
You'll never know.
All right, I gotta. Wicked, are you like gonna rug this and then make a new one, or are you just gonna keep this up?
What?
Are you gonna rug the space and then make a new one at like 4 o'clock, or are you just
Yeah,
gonna
that
keep?
one. That one's scheduled. So I'll move over to the scheduled one.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay. See ya. Can you say Bitcoin?
Hey, listen up, hookers. I can say all that core corruption's true. I still wouldn't be pro BIP 110. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how fucking retarded that shit is. I just had to say it.
Yeah, retard maxing.
Dude, BIP 110 is literally like using a Band-Aid instead of a diaper, and this shit just goes through anyway. Like, they're trying to stop spam, but it's just going through anyway. Like, I don't know any other way of how to explain this.
Dude, I just think like the shit I heard earlier is like wild. Dude, like
pretty yeah.
If they used like company resources or money for any of that, dude, like that is like literally
that
is
actually makes a
literally
lot more sense because they've been renting a shit ton of hash rate, bro. They've been renting. They went up to like 15 to 20 exahash over this past period. That's a lot. Yeah.
So wait, Shinobi, are you saying they use company money for the
No,
Sybil?
I'm saying if they did,
hypothetically,
if they did, that would be literally criminal. Like that would be embezzlement.
Do you think? Well, okay. Here's an interesting thread I was trying to pull Shinobi with my super intelligence AI. I told it to traverse all of the known exploited Luke addresses and see if there was any connections back to the Allegus like money, and if there was any maybe unpaid liabilities that could have been traced in that way. And so, I mean, if it does end up I will say the AI couldn't find any damning evidence, but it did trace back to some minglings with those funds. And it'd be funny if similar things were happening again with the pool, allegedly, hypothetically, if he started using pool funds for things or whatever. Wouldn't that be odd.
Whatever happened to that dude that was collecting donations for cold card victims to then point the hash to BIP 110? Was that?
I
Did I
really
dream? Did I
hope.
dream
I
that, or
really
was
hope
did
he
that
never
actually
did
happen?
it. That was Parman. That was Armin the Parman, who's a fucking retard. He's a complete fucking retard. He went full retard. Like, well, he's always been kind of retarded. He's like a fucking script kiddie, retarded dev who wants to act like he's contributing. And then he went completely retarded after Fix the Filters came out. My son's playing the piano, if you can hear that in the background. Oh, that's pretty good.
I was just about to.
Nah, I can't.
Okay.
He can't hear us, can he?
No, we're in a different room. We're just going to listen to him play this piece real quick. Oh, that's pretty good. Damn, we got a Mozart over here, bro.
No,
Fucking, this guy's
can
only 2
anyone
years
else
old,
hear
bro.
this, or I can't hear any music?
Okay, maybe it's not loud enough.
Yeah,
It
you
got
can hear
quiet.
it, but barely. Like at some point it got quiet, and then we heard some keys, and then
Right, and
yeah.
that was a long pause on purpose. That was to add some, suspense.
So I was just about to say that, Nico, you said that BIP 110 was about stopping spam, but didn't you hear the narrative change of the various examples on how it didn't stop spam, and then they shifted the narrative. The current narrative is that they are fixing a bug in Bitcoin Core. So this bug that Bitcoin Core V30 um, released, the uncapping of op return uh, relay policy, and they want to fix it in consensus. So that's the current narrative. I was just just so we are clear.
What BIP number is French CTV?
Rounds.
It's op template hash plus check sig from stack. I'm not sure what the two numbers are.
Somebody created a workaround from BIP 110 back in June. It doesn't stop spam. That's why I said it's like a band-aid on your asshole that you're still gonna shit through. Like it doesn't
Yeah,
stop it.
I know. That's true. That's true. But they shifted the narrative after that, after ways people showed them that it's not stopping any spam, and then it became only about the op return thing. So
I mean,
now they save Bitcoin from toxic JPEGs, CSAM.
I mean, they wanted now all of a sudden they're trying to sneak a hard fork in where they said they weren't going to do it, and all of their supporters are just like, we didn't know this."
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what I feel really bad for is people who this is their first cycle that they're fully in Bitcoin and they've kind of learned their lessons, and that is who they chose to sort of follow behind for this first movement. Because again, I remember my first cycle coming in here as well, right? And like you want to get involved as much as you can, and it's attractive to hear a narrative that like if you don't do this, Bitcoin's gonna die. Like, that's just like an attractive narrative for someone that's very excited to join. Like I feel like that is like the sad part about this is the people who don't really know any better, but they just got like wiped up in this in their first real cycle.
That's the best way
I
they got the
just heard
support.
about Bitcoin, and I'm here to save it. I'm here to fix it.
But that's the best way for them to be able to grow in this, like to do this type of thing, because they're not going to convince anybody that's been here for a couple of cycles. So they have to sit there and get all the newbies so that they can pretty much charge forward. It's like a revolution to them. That's what this whole thing is about.
It's something to do. It's just something to do that's exciting.
I think what this will teach us is that Bitcoin is populism resistant. You cannot hijack Bitcoin by utilizing a bunch of numerous retards who are buying simple solutions to complicated problems. And once BIP 110 fails, it proves that populism doesn't work here. It works only in governments and democracies.
Oh, I'll give you an example of the most recent one. A lot of people that came into Bitcoin because of Michael Saylor believe that Michael Saylor is building on top of Bitcoin. Like they don't understand that it's just like a side thing and it's more like a Ponzi and whatever, you know? Like they don't understand that he's not actually building anything.
Dude, if I hear digital credit one more time, like credit has literally been digital since the invention of fucking credit. That's what credit is. It's
But here's the thing,
virtual.
though. Here's the thing, though. He said it
Virtual
first, and
credit.
then he hoovered up 400,000
Dude,
coins.
no,
So
forget digital credit.
I mean,
Virtual
he did a
credit.
pretty good job, guys. You gotta give him props. Fucking hoovering up 400,000 goddamn coins by saying some dumb shit on stage. I mean, come on, man. It might be dumb, but it worked.
Virtual credit.
By the way, Wicked, it's
Virtual bitcoins.
446. 446 is all template hash.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
$12 blocks.
I can't believe this is actually happening.
How do we celebrate?
Oh, that's a good point. I need to go out and get some beer.
Fat joints.
Probably shouldn't be smoking joints right now.
Bro, what you know about that spotted cow, Wicked? Just grabbed 2 cases yesterday.
Wicked,
Nice.
you
Spotted
sound
cow's
like
pretty
you're
good.
high
What
all
are
the
you?
time.
Spotted cow? Are you fucking in Wisconsin?
Well, I live in Chicago, dude. Do you think it's
Okay,
really
pretty close.
that rare for me
I didn't
to
know you were
go
in
to
Chicago.
something?
Cool. Next time I'm in Chicago.
Doxed.
I mean, yeah, I've been publicly shouting that I live in Chicago for like 10 years at this point. Like,
Why are you in
it doesn't
Chicago?
make a
It
difference.
seems like an expensive city to live in.
Because my family is here, and when the apocalypse comes, we have fresh water.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. All those Midwestern states are doing pretty good. Might have to move back home myself. I'm from Minnesota.
Aren't you in Boston? You should be fine for water.
Boston, well, I mean, there's water sources, but Boston, I mean, I'm in Boston proper right now. If shit went down, shit would get crazy here. It's too many people. Too many people. And when you're in a big city, when shit goes down, it gets too crazy. All right, at least in theory. So I'd want to move back to a smaller city. I mean, even the Twin Cities is probably like I wouldn't want to be there again. I'd move out of that metropolitan area. If anything, maybe I'll move down to Florida. Fuck it.
I'm moving down to Florida.
Move down.
Florida's water supply is really not there. Like it's
That's
not
true.
good.
But at least you have a lot of guns, though. So then you take the guns and you
Gonna
drive
get
across the
me,
country and you take all the water from the Midwesterns who don't have the guns. They have guns. They just have like hunting rifles, but they're no match for your AR-15s.
So in upstate New York, if you like property went up a lot, and I think it's for the water, bro. Like there's no other explanation. Like none
Could be.
whatsoever.
Could be. Oh, oh my God. I totally forgot about this, guys. So someone just reminded me. We only have a little over an hour to deploy the URSF. Has anyone started spreading that yet? What are we going to do?
Shinobi, where's it
Split
at?
the bit. Split the bit.
Red team, we need the URSF done, please.
Okay, I'm wipe coding the client. Just hold on.
Yeah, I was actually talking to Hoddle about this earlier, Shinobi, and I don't think you were in the space. But in the event of an evil soft fork attempt, where like it's actually something that's being driven by maybe like a captured economic majority, and then you know other Bitcoiners don't want it, and so they want to reject it. Does it really matter how you reject it, or do you
No,
think for the most part, most rejections will stay in sync at some point, even if
dude,
it's like rejecting different
dude,
parts of it?
we did the like there. This is delusional. Like there is zero fucking need to talk about this at all. But it is literally as simple.
Not for
It is
this one. I'm
literally as
saying like a
simple as
nation level.
invalidate block, and then you put the first bad block in,
Right.
and everybody does that,
Right.
and done. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
What are you
Isn't
guys?
us
What are you
just
guys
doing
describing?
nothing
What are you
the
guys describing?
user rejected soft fork?
Well, some people say like they would want to run the URSF beforehand, which would require you to have. I mean, you don't know what the block hash is going to be at the split. So then they've tried to like figure out different ways you could do it, and obviously it depends on the soft fork. So in this case, it can be cleanly done by like you can assume that the first block on the legacy side post split will have a large op return, and then the other one probably won't, even though it's not a given because they're not actually checking for that. But in all reality, like obviously, like Roughnecks, if they're the only ones mining this shit, will. By the way, wait, time out. If Roughnecks is indeed driven with ocean money, again, in theory or hypothetically, because we have no evidence, but if that's true, then does that mean they're just going to continue fucking like hashing on that other chain?
Dude, that's my point. Like, if this
Yeah, they
is
just
all
fucking
true and
drain the
that
coffers.
happens, they will run that fucking
Jesus.
company into the ground.
Oh my god, dude. That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
And then when none of them go to jail, then we know that they're all spooks, right? Is that what happens?
Why would they go to jail though?
Because
I don't
Fiduciary
think
if
duty.
it's illegal to fork Bitcoin.
Fiduciary duty.
dude, if this hypothetical situation were
Yeah,
true, it would be
hypothetically.
embezzlement. Like that's what that would be. That's a crime.
Right. And the last time Luke had embezzlement, hypothetically, and then lost the embezzled Bitcoin and called the FBI, hypothetically, that's the first time he got, fucked by them. And so to think it wouldn't be the last, hypothetically, is kind of silly at this point.
So I gotta ask because I've only seen the pictures, but does he really have like the iPhone peeking out of his like the camera peeking out of the pocket on his shirts, or is
Oh,
that did I
Everywhere
fall
he
for a
goes.
loop?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I've never seen him in person, but it is weird.
Yeah, that's
I-
true. I have met him, but I don't think that's pretty far fetched. I don't think he's actually like filming everybody. That's
Here,
I
crazy.
here's
mean,
a
it's a,
fun
well,
fact. I volunteered at the Magical Crypto Conference in New York in 2019, and that was the last fucking time I ever did any goddamn work at any fucking event in this space ever again. That's its own story. So Luke, while he was presenting on stage, literally just handed me his fucking phone and was like, "Can you hold this for me while I'm up there?" And just walked up on stage. Like we had known each other for like 3 or 4 years at that point, but like we had never met in person. And it's like this is a core developer just like, "Here dude, yeah, hold my phone while I'm talking on stage." And I just had his phone for like 30 minutes. Like could have done whatever the fuck I wanted with it.
what year was this?
2019.
What did you do with this phone?
Nothing,
So were you the
because
one that
I'm
took the
not a
Bitcoin?
fucking shitbag. But I could have.
Yeah, it makes you wonder how many other people he just gave his phone away to.
Exactly. That's the point. Like, that is like wildly, unbelievably like bad security practice. I am a nobody whose like shit does not give potential access to anything that matters at all except my Bitcoin. I am a schizo lunatic. I have literally not gone to after events at conferences and shit because they won't let people bring bags in. They won't let people like keep their devices with them inside. Like Luke is whatever a fucking core developer. Like, that's insane.
I've never been to a
Yeah, that
conference where
might
they
be a
didn't let you
bad
bring your
security
phone.
practice, but do you think that he's actually filming everybody with the phone on the pocket?
I
That's
don't
the
fucking know
conspiracy.
at this point, dude. Like, Luke has always been odd, but he has just gotten like manic and crazy the last few years, dude.
No doubts.
Well, I mean, think of it from his perspective. Okay, you've got a bunch of feds breathing down your neck. They just found out that you had embezzlement, hypothetically, of course, and you really don't want to go to jail. So, now you're living in a world, you're living under their thumb. You're wondering if your reality is real. Is this a simulation? Is God testing me? You feel conflicted all the time because you thought you were a good person, you would never lie, but now you're lying all the time.
Hey, hold on.
Hypothetically, of
Explain to me
course.
what's embezzlement.
It's when you take funds from your old mining pool that you shouldn't have.
You take
Hypothetically, of course.
company or employer or investor or other people that are not yous money and you do shit that you shouldn't be doing with it, like your own personal shit.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's essentially using company money for non-company related activities.
Yeah,
But then
sure.
like pretending that it's company activities, but not.
These hypotheticals are fun.
Fairly easy to do with Bitcoin.
A really good example is the old CEO of Tyco. That's like probably one of the most famous U.S. cases of like massive embezzlement. So yeah, you could check that one out. What is it? Dennis Kozlowski. Yeah.
Wait, is that why Taco went out of business? I used to play with
Oh,
those
they never
toys
went
when I
out
was
of
a kid.
business. No, they never. No. So hold on. Tyco RC is a completely different company, as I ended up learning, than Tyco. It's a Tyco security products. It's totally different.
I thought you were talking about the toy company. I think I had like one of those dump trucks that they had. Like they did like
100%.
shit like that. Yeah.
I thought it was them too. I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, these toy makers are crazy. And then like obviously I did digging, and it's not. It's a security company.
I told Luke, shit.
How many more block?
Gonna read that shit. These filters are an exercise in futility. Blah, blah, blah. Alternately, trying to make the filters more general to catch all possible patterns is beyond dangerous. It is absurd. And I should have added retarded, but I try to keep etiquette on GitHub. All right. So I didn't add the retarded part, but you
He
get the
touched
gist,
my
okay?
penis. Him, this bee right here.
Retarded. I'm just trying to, add a little humor to this whole thing.
This whole thing is actually quite humorous the whole time.
Good. I mean, I just kind of logged in, so.
I'm just happy hands are off my top script. That's all I wanted.
Here you go, folks. Consensus manifest.
BIP 110 has consensus, obviously. There's no URSF.
Hey, Shinobi, what do you think of this Luke Child's AI psychosis GigaChad wallet that solves the wallet trilemma.
I haven't read it yet, but if he's talking about vault transactions encrypted in inscriptions, I literally suggested that like 3 fucking years ago when all the fucking lunatics were crying, like, hey, if I did this with inscriptions, is that non-monetary?
Yeah, that's what he's suggesting. But his way of doing it would be a 2 of 2 with one key on the phone, one key in a hardware wallet, and then you basically have 2 script paths where the phone wallet one, I don't have to read it again, but it's different like exit
If you
times.
want to do a
Isn't that
proper
what
vault,
BitKey
you have to
does, though?
delete signing keys.
Why
Like
do you
you
need
have
an inscription for anything for this?
Well,
to
to
have
give
trustless.
a 100% guarantee that there is no data loss. Like you take all the pre-signed vault transactions for withdrawing, you encrypt them to a key derived from the seed that you're going to keep, and then inscribe them all on chain using that seed.
And you don't even need
so that
you don't
one
even need
seed
the whole
backups all you
script, by the way.
Gotcha. Okay, it's like the safer way of pointing the descriptors. Okay, because the spending path
Yeah,
part
but
didn't make sense to me.
two of two doesn't make sense, dude. Like, why? Why wouldn't you
just
add a
delete the
couple of more
key.
keys?
No, it's 2 of 2 because it has script path spends that are just 1 of 1 that like expire at different times, which
Dude,
is
whatever
basically
key
emulating the
is
vault.
whatever key is signing those deposits like should be deleted. Otherwise, you're not actually doing a vault as like it's traditionally known. Like there needs to be literally no way to ever withdraw from that vault other than the pre-signed transactions that force you through the timeout where you can claw it back.
Yeah, so in other words, I think the idea is like you basically have protection against one key or the other being compromised, but then it well, I need to actually understand the structure of this because in my mind at first I was like, wait, so it would go back to the original wallet and then just like you'd just be in a constant loop until whichever key. I mean, I guess you could, as long as both keys aren't compromised, then you could just do both keys and move it. Maybe I just misunderstood it though.
All right, Wicked. Here's how a vault should work,
Uh-huh.
like with signed transactions. You have money sent to an interim wallet. From there, you pre-sign Lightning style, like the transaction sending that into the vault. And then from there, you pre-sign your withdrawals. Like these are the amounts that you can withdraw in. These are the dependency graph chains, depending on which one you use, and like the set that goes after that one. And then you sign all of those and you delete that key. And then only after doing that do you actually sign and broadcast the deposit transaction into the vault. Then there is literally no way to withdraw money from that address except using those pre-signed transactions in predetermined amounts that have whatever timeout you give where you can claw it back and shove it into a deep multisig. And the whole idea here is you just inscribe all of that on chain with one of the keys you're going to keep around and not delete, so that as long as you have that key, it is impossible for you to lose those transactions. You just look up the inscription transactions on chain with that address. You have all the encrypted transactions, and they're all encrypted to a key derived from that seed. So unless the whole blockchain disappears, it is impossible for you to ever lose those transactions if you still have that key.
What if we get a soft fork in the future that like removes inscriptions?
That would be a hard fork because it would have to delete data already on chain.
But what if Luke can like pull a rabbit out of his hat and figure out how to make it a soft fork and automatically,
Could just put them in a IPFS file and stuff that 32 byte in there as well.
Okay, cool. So, but this construct, it sounds like he's not deleting keys because it's a 2 of 2.
And it's not a proper vault. You're doing it wrong.
I think Jesus Christ would have to come back for Luke to do what you're saying, Wicked.
Anyways, this is why we need covenants. We should activate French TTV soon.
Covenants just sounds like a smart contract, to be fair here. I really haven't looked too much into it, but I know a covenant is a fucking contract. So, like, I'm not understanding this here.
It's literally just a class of proposals that allows you to add extra restrictions on your Bitcoin. Like, not just how to unlock them to spend, but how they can be spent in the future.
Right. So Nico, a lot of like the safer vault alternatives that people talk about, or using using a lot of pre-signed transactions, become much easier using covenants.
I like the idea of exchanges using it and being able to commit all withdrawals of users in one small little Taproot transaction, and then the users taking that and being able to take their funds out whenever they want. You don't like that idea, Shinobi?
Every wallet in the entire ecosystem would need to drastically update to support that safely, and we would need a whole new like public relay and broadcast network just for all of that data that is solid and robust as fuck. Like, without those two things, that idea is kind of
like congestion control.
Yeah, without those two supporting pieces of infrastructure, it's kind of a meme proposal.
But what if everyone rushes for the exits at the same time? Then they all just get on. Then they all just get on the arc.
Start convincing people to go build that infrastructure so that the idea becomes not a meme.
I guess they could all just board the arc.
You know, it turns out you can do like a light covenant with Taproot and a little extra Bitcoin script. Maybe me and my boy down there, Richard, maybe we'll publish some. I got some code laying around. Maybe we'll publish a light covenant fucking proposal. It's pretty simple, actually, but whatever.
Now that we're talking about this, I gotta shill Bitcoin Inquisition because, again, not a lot of people here know what that is. If you're in the audience, you're a developer, you want to get your hands dirty on experimental shit, look up Bitcoin Inquisition. That's the sandbox that you want to be playing around in, and not a lot of people know about it.
Hey, if you like Rust, search Bitcoin -INQ, and it's a Rust like runner installer for Bitcoin Inquisition. So Bitcoin -INQ, cargo search Bitcoin -INQ. It installs whatever version you want. Blah blah blah. You know, I was just kind of whipping something up for myself, but I figured I'd share it with other people, so you can look that up.
What's up, Stefan?
Hey guys, thought I'd drop by and see how this goes down.
I'm gonna start. I have a scheduled space at 4, so I'll probably rug this one and move over to that one just so that everyone has is at the same place. But yeah, it should be pretty uneventful. But I'm gonna be drinking a few beers, so I'm sure we'll be having a good time. Speaking of which, I do need to go and get some beer. What kind of beer should I get?
Beer that tastes good.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Make D++ the host and just go get your beer and whatever and go chill.
No, I mean I'll bring you guys with me. I don't mind talking
I
like a
thought you were
lunatic.
leaving. I thought you were rugging us, wicked.
No. I'll fucking put
Completely unrelated
earbud
to
in.
Bitcoin rant. Fuck Google. Fuck YouTube. Toxic, parasitic pieces of shit now actively refuse to fucking serve actual video content to Chromium. They'll serve the ads just fine, but the actual video that the ad's supposed to monetize, oh no, we can't fucking do that.
So I did see that Luke Childs crash out, and I did kind of disagree with this purported trilemma because collaborative custody is trustless. Depending on how you do it, you might leak some privacy information, but what Jesse Posner came up with chain code delegation. You've got some cool privacy benefits there. I'd love to see, CASA and others implement
The
that.
only thing with that though is that you don't have the privacy if, for example, what happened with the Coldcard hack. I'm pretty sure with the 2 of 3. I mean, I guess with the it doesn't matter either way. If you're sweeping your whole wallet, then they get all of your history, right?
Oh, like if you consolidate all of your funds into one UTXO, you mean?
Because you're trying to scramble and move away from that entire wallet.
Yeah, and that's true with like any migration. If you just consolidate everything, then you've taken a privacy hit. But anyway, I just wanted to come up and say that.
Well, it's not. I guess with the chain code delegation, they don't see it unless they're one of the signers in the sweep, right? And so if it's like an emergency and you think one of your keys has been compromised, it doesn't really make sense. Like it wouldn't make a difference if you're going through Slipstream whether you use your 2 keys or one of your keys and the collaborative custodians, right? Because it doesn't really matter what 2 signers you're using in that transaction. You're still showing that you have all the pub keys and, well, I guess no, sorry. It'd be if 2 are compromised. That's when you would actually use the Slipstream product. But what I'm saying is that they could have just used the Slipstream on their own with their own 2 keys. They wouldn't have had to have any permission from the collaborative custodian. And if the collaborative custodian had chain code delegation, then they would have never known the funds had been swept, right? Like BitKey doesn't know your history when you're receiving Bitcoin and spending it. They only know with chain code delegation when you need a recovery key or when you're spending from the hot wallet, like the below a certain threshold amount, because then they're using one of their keys. So they only ever know the history associated with that particular UTXO or UTXOs that you're spending using one of their keys. But you should be able to sweep it as long as you're using both of your keys and they have chain code delegation. You should be able to sweep it without their knowledge, I think. Right?
Yeah, I think that tracks. But I just think I think it's important to kind of delineate between trustlessness and privacy because those are kind of 2 different things.
Well, permissionless and privacy. I mean, I think trust involves.
Luke had a good response though, didn't he? Because he did say, I mean, this is getting a bit theoretical, but he was saying that theoretically, if Block were to push a like, let's say the government told them push a malicious update, and the user is unknowing at that point, and gives the private key, right? And then at that point, Block has one private key and has the user key and just not the hardware key, like the phone. Yeah. So at that point, so I guess that was also the point Luke was making, is that theoretically it could be made not trustless. And that's what he was trying to do with this. I forgot the name of his new idea, the kind of the pre-signing scheme, but that was his idea, to make like a quote unquote trustless BitKey.
Okay. I see what you're saying. So you're saying if BitKey went rogue, then it wouldn't be completely trustless?
I mean, if the government came down hard on them and said, hey, I'm the state, you better change, you better put in a silent update in your app to, exfiltrate or take out the whatever, just basically give up the private key for every user's phone unknowingly. So, yeah.
I have a question. So BitKey is currently just using like a pay to witness script hash, multi-sig, just 2 of 3, right? They're not doing anything funky with Taproot like what Nunchuck did, where it's like the 2 of 3 emulated.
Not that I'm aware of yet, but they have like a whole roadmap for like,
because that seems like pretty low hanging fruit, right? Because then you have the key spend path would be the BitKey and the software wallet, and it would be super lightweight and private, and you wouldn't be signaling to everyone that you're using a multi-sig.
I mean, dude, ideally, you want blinded derivation paths. Michael Flaxman proposed that a couple years ago, where the key, you pretty much get an XPub from the service provider, and then you pick a derivation path, like a huge random number to actually use in your multisig, and then you store that. And they never see that information unless you go to them and ask them to cosign for something. So they have zero insight into like your balance or anything as long as you aren't using their backend to query for that.
What's the difference there between that and chain code delegation?
That is just another way to do that.
Okay. Are there any benefits or pros or cons to using one or the other, or are they pretty much similar?
Well, in theory, like you could grind derivation paths as like a service provider or something, but like there's nothing to stop you from nesting that if you wanted to and just making that like a completely impossible to crack problem.
And then what makes that better than chain code delegation?
It's just different, dude. It's just a different thing.
Sure. Okay.
How many blocks? We're 9 blocks away, right? 9 blocks?
I don't even know.
I think it's like 9 blocks, dude. 9 or 8 blocks. You might have to start your other space early. You're gonna have to start your space early.
You're not running a 110 node Hoddle?
No, why? I have Wicked and Portland doing it. Why would I do that?
I thought maybe you wanted in on the airdrop or something. Who knows? Make sure you got it.
You don't need to run a node
I know
to get in the airdrop.
I know.
And there's no,
sure
I mean,
get
just because there's an airdrop doesn't mean you're going to be able to even sell that airdrop, right? Like, in order for that to happen, they're probably going to have to. They're going to have to add replay protection, and I don't know if they want to do that. So, if they don't add replay protection,
well, plus you don't want to blow your load before you get a proof of work change hard fork. So there's no incentive now to sell your Bitcoin.
And honestly, if they are willing to do a proof of work change in this new airdrop, they have all the time in the world. There's no like time limit on that, right? They have all the time in the world to work on that, flush things out.
It'll just be a freeze though, right? Like it'll be like the 110 chain is frozen in time. I mean, it's only progressing ever so slightly from Roughnecks embezzled money, but aside from that, barely progressing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if they see that it's going to stall out, and they're going to do a proof of work change. I don't think it's going to be like
for
tomorrow.
optimal entertainment. I really hope we start seeing some like really stupidly executed, like totally ineffective poison block attacks, just because it'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious if they put like one or two in there, and there was like, here you go, please.
So wait,
the fucking grenade, but it's a dud.
If the idea was that Luke was always going to try to like turn the board into like a one-man show, just him, and he knew that he was going to hijack all the hash power that's being pointed at an ocean, then it makes sense, right? Because if he could have gotten, 5, 10%, 15% hash power in ocean, and then they were going to do this evil soft fork attempt, and he had a way to just, I don't know if he'd be able to do that with the data miners. Would he be able to do that with data miners? Probably not.
No, because they have to be running an upgraded node.
Right. So he wouldn't, and most of that pool are a bunch of data miners. So I guess they don't, I don't know. But, if he's got 5%, 6%, and then you could rent another 4%, 5%, then
Datum can just override, or the pool can just override Datum.
Well, if that's the case, then yeah, that's the attack. That was the attack plan. The attack was to get as much hash power on Ocean as possible. Get ready to do this evil soft fork at 55%. If we get enough hash power on Ocean, that's going to scare the shit out of the other pools. The other pools are going to have to run it.
Was? They really thought the legal letter to Foundry was going to work, and that blew up in their face.
Yeah, I think so too. They're counting. Yeah, but with Foundry, with that legal letter, with their hash power, they felt like if they could have just got enough of it, it would scare the other pools. It would scare China, and then China would flip. But none of that happened. None of that happened. But they did attempt it, and I don't know if he's still trying to like he's got 9 blocks to go, right? He's got 9 blocks
Wait,
before.
Stefan, did you hear Shinobi's hypothetical thing from
As
before?
in is this related to the tweet about how it all came out of Ocean?
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Damn.
But
I mean, I thought it was just a theory. Who knows? I really don't know.
No, but like the fact that Luke is trying to kick everybody off the board, is that known? Is that public? Is that like a thing?
no, that's just what I'm hearing from like somebody I consider to be reliable.
People are saying, Mr. Hoddle, people are saying.
Wait, did you guys see this fucking tweet Luke put out like 3 hours ago? He literally put out a reminder. Nobody has made a counterfork to reject BIP 110, so BIP 110 remains uncontested. Activation is certain.
This is what mental illness looks like.
Yeah, no, that's
And
exactly.
didn't Super Testnet
I mean, like, it's
URSF?
Crazy person.
the fact we're doing nothing is the user activated, rejected, whatever the hell. Like, we're just doing nothing. There you go.
Well, that wouldn't be the case. If there was enough hash power that was signaling, then we would have to do something.
But there's not.
When you have no hash power signaling, then yeah, the user rejected soft fork is by us not doing anything and you forking yourself off the network.
I mean, even if there had been 5 or 10% signaling hash rate, I think you probably would have started to see some pretty strong pushes for URSF. I think once you get above 10, then people are like, okay, got to put a cap on this shit. But it didn't even get up to 5, so.
Okay, so next time, Sybil more, and then the URSF get covenants in there, and then activate.
There you go.
No,
Beat them at,
doesn't
beat
work
them
like
at their
that.
own game. They evil soft fork us. We take it back with a good one.
A good soft fork.
Yeah. A virtuous soft fork.
Are you rugging this? You're gonna rug the space and do the other one? You're gonna have to do that soon, dude.
No, it starts at it's scheduled at 4.
Stop it.
Wait a second.
I should have never bought this kazoo.
You bought a kazoo? The fuck?
Yeah, you think I'm doing that with my mouth?
Well, I know what it is. I just, I've never heard of someone buying one. Like usually, like you get it from your grandma or something.
Or do they give them away for free at parties?
Right, something like that.
Like when we were 6.
Nah, man, you gotta get the high quality aluminum shit, man.
Wait, so it's why am I tripping right now? It's okay, 32.
6
6 blocks. So 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour out.
What's the point of doing a new fucking space? Just keep this one.
Because it's scheduled already. They could just come to this one. You're right.
They'll see everybody here already. The fuck's the difference? You're not recording this.
No, I was going to record
getting
it.
a few blocks quickly.
I was going to record that one, but I don't have to.
Oh, okay.
Should I? I think
We just found a block, Binance pool.
You know what?
5 blocks.
You gotta, 961627.
No, I am going to rug it because I want it to be recorded. That's one for the history books.
Right, but what happens if blocks come in fast?
Well, then that would be amazing, and we're gonna all freak the fuck out on Spaces.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what if it comes before 4 o'clock?
Oh, that's what you mean. Then I'll reschedule it. You can schedule Spaces. It's not a big deal.
Oh, okay, all right. That's what I'm getting at, man. This whole time. Okay,
stop freaking out. I'm a pro.
We could have a 40-minute block here, bro.
I'm not freaking out.
Yeah. Well, I better go get my beer. That's the thing. And I should probably start. Let me start fucking broadcasting this to YouTube just to get it ready.
You're broadcasting this space to YouTube?
No, I'm broadcasting the dashboard so that we can all watch it live together. If you want to put it up when you're on, I think having it live streamed to YouTube so you can put it up on your TV if you have a smart TV with YouTube on it. Probably different.
You could do that with X, by the way. Like you could live stream it on X
X
while
sucks.
you're doing the
X
space. Oh no, it
sucks
does. It
nuts.
does.
Yeah,
I'm
fuck
just
that.
saying.
Should I stream my BlockClock OG?
I'm surprised you haven't.
You
Surprised you haven't thrown
should
that
burn
out
that
yet.
thing. Yeah, you should stream it burning.
NSA listening
A
device.
I will never destroy that.
$5,000 fucking piece of art
I would
made with
fucking
like
burn it.
mechanical fucking display and
Yeah.
shit. Like, fuck off.
Worth every penny.
Right in the bonfire.
Never. You can fucking burn your shit, bro. I'm not burning mine. They can. You know
Mine
what,
already
Rodolfo?
burned.
Rodolfo can keep spying on me. That's fine. He can watch me work out in the mornings.
All right, but that was a weird quote to have on the back. I will say that out of all the Satoshi quotes, that's definitely a weird
Well,
one.
that's a weird one, and then the
That's
fact that
only
he
on the
named
micro.
and then he named the library libNGU.
It's not on that one, and it's only on the micro.
Yeah, it's on the
quote.
newest one.
The mini has the "if you don't get it, I don't have time to explain it." Sorry quote.
The OG one has a different quote.
That's much more
The OG has a different quote. I forget the quote that's on it. Though. I'd have to take it off the wall.
How much are these things? There's no price on the fucking website.
Because they're not selling them.
They're priceless.
I think the micro is like $250 and the mini was like $400. I think.
Yeah, they were pretty expensive. I didn't pay for mine though.
The original one was like $5,000, dude. You have no idea how much spite I have for Mandrake. None.
Should have bought one. You should have bought one.
They did. How many did they release? They didn't release a lot, right?
Dude, I did much better holding on to that Bitcoin, but I still hate you.
Something's worth more than Bitcoin.
Not a BlockClock.
Not a BlockClock.
Not a BlockClock.
It is to me. It is to me. I love that.
Man,
I'm an art collector. I'm an art collector.
Sure, if you're an art collector, yeah, I get it.
That Silk Road piece that I have is worth more in Bitcoin than when I paid for it in like 2014 or whatever.
Also, by the way, for people with BlockClocks, like it has a push API too. So you can just like turn off it polling other APIs and have a clanker slap together your own script to just like push data on the screen yourselves if you are.
Yeah, but what about the fucking spy tech that's in it, bro?
Burn it. Burn it, put it in the bonfire.
You know they're spying on you, right?
Burn it all.
Dude, you are holding a surveillance device right now that you walk around within your pocket every day. It connects to cell towers. It has a cellular modem that is its own closed source computer in it, powered on 24/7, unless the battery literally drains dead. And you are fucking schizoing over a fucking ESP32
Wait a second, though.
That's something that we know.
Wait a second. Time out.
You don't understand what's in that
But this device
BlockClock.
isn't connecting directly to your cold cards.
Yeah, that too. And we know that the phone is spying on us. The BlockClock was not supposed to spy on us, bro.
And it's not. It's plain text. You can literally watch 100% of the data that thing sends off of your network.
Have you looked through with have you like seen if there's any radio signals between it and your
Have you done
cold card?
Have you done a steganography check? Like,
Right.
No, I don't believe this.
I don't believe it either.
Burn it.
I'm keeping it just to keep me grounded in truth, you know? I got to keep it around me just so that I know it's not actually spying on me, but I really believe it is. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying?
I don't believe it's spying on me, but I have gotten a lot of helpful tips from Rodolfo while doing workouts, just out of the blue. He's just messaged me, be like, no, you got to work on your form a little bit more. And I'm like, oh, okay, bro, thanks. Completely unrelated, though. I think the BlockClock's fine. I also have one in the kitchen, and he's helped me out with some Brazilian recipes.
I thought he was contacting me through the BlockClock. That's what I thought was happening here for a second.
He's just that kind of guy.
He is.
Could you imagine that? I'm just just hear his voice, Mandrake, I'm in the wall.
Rodolfo's not the one getting the information. Peter's getting the information. Rodolfo's innocent in all this. It's not. It's not MK.
Switch, not Peter.
Dude,
It's
you
what
Was
guys
Rodolfo the
need to
patsy?
fucking take your
Did you
meds.
see the
You need to lay
lists?
down for a nap, and then you need to go for a nice fucking stroll. Calm down.
Why do you keep protecting Peter, Shinobi? It's really
Bro,
weird.
Because
why
if
are
you
you?
know Peter.
Why is the guy who plays the kazoo in here telling us to calm down?
Because he's right.
dude? I don't know, man. I don't
Bro,
know.
we're just fucking around anyways.
I think NVK is a good guy. I don't think
Oh, hey,
NVK
I had
has
a
anything to
question.
do with
So,
it. But
wait,
Yeah.
Shinobi, you might know the answer to this because you've been paying attention. But we were trying to get to the bottom of fucking Jeremy's comment about the Yasmerang being changed, but then Portland was saying that they didn't even use the updated Yasmerang, like the my Yasmerang or whatever, and that they fell back onto the default MicroPython one. Do you know if that's true?
I would kind of go with what Portland said because
Okay,
he
all right.
probably actually looked at the code.
He might have. I mean, I want some fucking some. I'll just go look at the code.
No, but
I
that's
can
what the
read that
core.
code.
That's what the core dev said too. That it went back to the MicroPython random number generator,
I'm
the
just
pseudo
wondering,
random number
like
generator.
I'm wondering.
But
So
hey, just real quick, Yasmerang that was built into MicroPython, so I think it's like one and the same. Wicked.
the Yasmerang, yes. So there's a default Yasmerang, which is like what was exploited. But I'm wondering, was the was the one that was slightly different or defined as like the my underscore Yasmerang, did that have different entropy because it had differences? Or did it have no differences and just was never actually used? Like it was an unused variable?
I don't
I'm
know,
just
but
trying to get to the bottom of like
the
why did they add that if they didn't use it? And then if they did add it, did it have different entropy as the default Yasmerang?
mm, yeah, that's a good
It's impossible
question.
for a library on its own to get you like a random number.
No, it's pseudo random.
Like you
That's why
have to
it's a
bring in,
Yasmerang. Yeah,
yeah.
it brings
You
in
have to
like it
bring
brings
in
in
a
clock
number from
time
inside.
and like the coordinates of the chip on the wafer, and I don't know if there's anything else. Those are the two ones that are easy to think of. All right, let me see if this is streaming now. Okay, it's streaming. Cool.
4 blocks. 4
I got
blocks.
an alert.
4 blocks. All right, I need to go get some beer. I actually, yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna rug it. See you guys in 30 minutes.
See you there. Wait. But what if blocks come in faster? Hold on. What if blocks come in faster than 30 minutes?
Then I'll start it up early, bro. Just chill.
All right.
It only takes me like 5
Just
minutes to
start
go
it
get
up
beer.
now. Just start it up
Okay,
now.
I'll start it up
Come
now.
on.
Okay, I'll see you over there right now.
Dude, the blocks are coming in so fast.